have the first conversation where Chris Davis explains how amazing that Doom demo. He was like, Doom is back, Brad. Trust me. And I start asking him questions, and he starts explaining it. Do we have a recording of that? Was that on camera or recording?
I'm pretty sure you have a podcast that.
I want to listen to that again.
Okay, well, you... In Chris Davis's defense, he has not been proven wrong yet.
Wait, about what?
That is...
Doom being back, whatever you want to call it.
Well...
It could be amazing.
Well, I mean, it being an amazing game does
But by
not
that
mean
same
Doom.
line of logic, he hasn't been proven right.
Correct.
So why do we just automatically assume he's right?
Well, I mean, nothing they've shown...
Wouldn't it be safer to assume that he's
Nothing they've shown is
very
what I
wrong?
want to see. I have not seen a secret wall open up. That's for fucking sure. In fact, we've not seen much of that game at all.
Are we ready to start?
Yep. Please.
It's not coming out in 2 months. I'm ready.
God.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 446. My name is Nick Henderson. I'm joined today by Brad Simons,
Yes, you are.
Nolan Hedstrom,
What's up, bitches?
and Christopher Guthridge.
Hello.
We have a good show tonight.
Leo won the Oscar.
Leo fucking
Oh my
won.
God. Thank
the
God. Now we can all stop talking about it. Let's move on.
The thing is, I don't think he really deserved it.
Well,
Dude,
it almost feels like a pity
It
Oscar.
kind of does.
I was kind of kidding about bringing it up.
Well, you did, so fuck you. Like, my whole thing is, The Revenant was a good movie, but that was definitely not his best act.
No. I mean, well, his acting was fine.
The
But he
Oscars-
has other standout. I think...
The Oscars give Oscars based
I
on
realize.
careers these days.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they've always
I mean,
have.
the thing about the Oscars is they actually don't fucking matter at all.
Yeah,
It's
they
true,
really
though.
don't.
The only reason why anyone puts any credence in them is because they're old.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter.
88
And it's also
years.
an excuse to get a bunch of celebrities
We're
together in a
old.
room.
That's why...
Don't lump us in with
we
you.
get a
Yeah, I
little bunch
mean,
of-
some people...
Yeah,
No, I'm
I-
saying our
are old.
podcast is old.
I'm not pushing 50 yet.
That's what matters.
Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. We have a lot of video. I'm not even going to waste time talking about too much. I would like to say, Brad, Krispy, and
Can I tell you one thing I've been watching? It is video game related.
You make it quick. Well, can I finish my thought first?
Yes.
I just want to
Nick,
say,
you can.
As long as it's
I don't want to
fucking
talk.
Brad.
I don't want to talk about movies because we got way too many games to talk
Correct.
about. But I would like to say that Krispy and I would be interested in recording a popcorn cast of The Witch.
We saw it.
Cool. Did y'all like it?
I did.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I did. Does that mean you didn't, Nick?
No, he's. What
No.
do you? Yeah, way to throw me under the bus, Krispy.
I'm not speaking for Nick. I'm
No,
just
Nick
speaking
gets
for
hit by
myself.
the bus. We watched this video like 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
You don't get thrown under.
I really liked The Witch. I read a lot of like comments and reviews from people online who did not like it.
Oh, no, I thought that movie was kind of incredible.
But
let's
I
not talk
was
about that here.
Really into it.
That's what the popcan cast.
The Popcan cast.
The Pep Pep
Popcan cast.
Pep Pep Pep.
I've been watching something video game related. I've been watching hours and hours of it while I play XCOM 2.
Oh, good Lord.
In fact, I've pretty much exclusively been playing XCOM 2 while watching this stuff. And if you've gone to the 4Player account, because I'm usually on the 4Player account when I watch stuff on YouTube, you probably know what it is.
We don't. You spill
Come on.
I've been watching...
porn.
So
Lots and lots
there's
of
these
porn.
two guys called Gutex and Mike Ross. Those are their fighting game community handles or whatever. And they sit on a couch and they play Street Fighter.
Why when you play XCOM?
Because XCOM is, it's a turn-based
Yeah,
game.
you don't have to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
If you look away, nothing's gonna happen while you're not looking.
Oh, dude, I always have a movie on when I'm playing.
Oh man, I can't do that. Anyway, player.
There's Gutex.
That's neither here nor there.
What?
He's the emoji.
Oh.
So, but here's the crazy part. And I've been watching I probably watched 50 episodes that are like 45 minutes long in the past week or two.
Good God.
I've been watching them play Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, not the new one.
Yeah.
Because there's only a couple episodes out with the new one. So I've been watching these guys play the old version of a fighting game series that I don't care about or play. That's how good it is. That's how entertaining they are. They're just really entertaining people. I mean, I have some affiliation with fighting games, so I used to play a lot of Tekken, so I kind of like get what they're saying, but I've never really played Street Fighter outside of the Super Nintendo game. But they have really good chemistry, and their guests are good. They have guests who are like pro players and stuff. And I've just been watching a bunch of it. I don't know why. I think I might decide to play Street Fighter V because of it, but I might not. I might just keep watching this show, like old episodes of this show. I don't know what to tell you. You probably like it too. It's really entertaining.
They're like the Top Gear of fighting games.
Yeah, but they're not even like the best players. They're good players. I mean, they compete in tournaments, but they're not like the best of the best by any means.
He didn't mean like they're in the top. He was making a reference to Top Gear.
No, I meant like the show.
I know.
Like,
I was
it's a really
just
entertaining show. It's got good personalities on it, but I don't give a fuck about cars.
Exactly. It's why a lot of people play Top Gear. I mean, watch Top Gear. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. All right.
Okay.
Malia doesn't get it.
Top Gear America.
Why the fuck are you watching that?
Speaking of which, congratulations, Brad.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Brad,
You got a dog tuxedo. I saw that.
got a dog tuxedo.
Congratulations.
congratulations on your dog tuxedo. Moving on. I'm just kidding. Congratulations, Brad is officially a fiancé.
A fiancé.
A fiancé.
I've been using that a lot.
He's a.
It's only been 2 days and I've been using that a lot.
He's spoken
That's funny.
for.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies.
This is off the market.
He's about to be made an honest woman.
Anyways, congratulations, Brad.
Following the trend.
Yeah,
I was copying.
He saw Nolan and Bernadette do it and was like,
Seemed like a good idea.
I will not let you beat me at this. And he's like, I'm actually getting married the weekend before Nolan just because.
Nick's gonna come back and be like, I got engaged to my girlfriend in Pittsburgh, and we'll be like, haha, she doesn't exist.
She does. Anyways, fuck you, Krispy. Anyways, let's get started. Where do we want to start? There's a lot. We're gonna talk about Fire Emblem Fates, Far Cry Primal, Layers of Fear, Division, a lot of stuff.
Fire Emblem Fates? You said that?
All right, I said Fire Emblem Fates first, so why don't we start there?
Oh, sure.
It's a DS game.
I've actually not played like a whole hell of a lot of
Who
it.
here is playing it?
Of Fire Emblem?
Brad and Ed.
Oh, really? I thought you were playing it already.
I couldn't buy a fucking copy. There is not a single copy of that game within 100
So
miles.
here's what's really weird.
sucks.
Why did Nintendo ship so few copies?
Because why don't they ever ship copies of anything?
That's why. They never ship enough copies for anything.
This exact thing happened with Fire Emblem Awakening.
But see, that's the thing. Fire Emblem wasn't really that popular in the West until Awakening. But you think because Awakening was a surprise success that they would have shipped more copies of Fate.
Yeah.
Dude,
Fates, I don't know.
I don't know.
So
That implies logic.
Yeah. So what do y'all want to know? It's a
Nintendo
Fire
has
Emblem game. There's a lot of confusion over like the releases. We don't need to talk about that. Just know that I'm playing Birthright, mostly because I intend to play both, and Conquest
Well,
is
I would
harder.
like to. Okay, well, is there just like a general difference you can tell? Because I am wanting to play this, but I don't know.
Birthright is easier than Conquest.
All right, I'll be playing
Conquest
Birthright.
is harder, and it typically has more tricky like completion objectives. So
Okay.
it's just kind of hard to like keep this person alive.
That
or,
is really cool, though.
Whatnot. Also, Conquest is more traditional in that there's not a lot of stuff to do between story battles. You just go from story battle to story battle to story battle, which means you can't grind out characters who are lagging behind. So you have to really play the experience metagame and to make sure that people who are kind of lagging behind get the kills and whatnot, because you don't have an opportunity to do that outside of story battles, which also makes the game a little more difficult. If you start a Fire Emblem with Awakening and you kind of expect it to be a more open thing with stuff to do between story battles, maybe start with Birthright. But honestly, I think you should start with Birthright regardless. I think if you're into Fire Emblem, you want more of a challenge, maybe you like the old ones, still start with Birthright because you're probably going to want to play both. And since Conquest is harder, you probably don't want to do that first, because why would you go from the harder one to the easier one? Also, Conquest is has more complex like map types and stuff anyway, so you don't want to do all the good stuff first and do the less good stuff later. Like, see, this map is very open.
Yeah.
Like it's not, they're not typically as open in Conquest. And they are different maps, there's different characters, it's a different storyline. I mean, after the first few chapters, you choose between which family you're going to side with, the family that raised you or the family that is your actual birth family. The family that raised you kind of kidnapped you when you were a baby.
What dicks.
And they are dicks. And that's the thing. If you choose the Conquest route, you're kind of siding with the bad guys. I mean, your close family members, they're not really bad guys. It's just the dude in charge of the family is a bad dude. But they kind of get around that by going like, oh, he says kill all these people, but we're not really going to kill them. We're just going to make them think we did. It's a weird fit family. It's fucked up. But
like the Lannisters.
I'm enjoying it. There's some new stuff. Here, you'll see in a second, maybe I'm going to do this thing called the Dragon Vein, which are...
that's a little ways into the footage.
Oh, okay. There's these little glowy spots on the field that anybody with a certain bloodline that, you know, supposedly... They're like Targaryens. They supposedly have the blood of the dragon. Maybe a little more literally in this game, but... I mean, the main character can transform into a dragon.
Whoa.
Are you saying Targaryens don't actually have the blood of the dragon?
Okay, whatever. They don't turn into dragons.
We don't know that.
But you...
And we probably never will.
Wait, do the Targaryens turn into dragons?
I don't know.
No!
There's
No
still
one
3
will
more
ever
books
know.
coming.
Maybe they write them. We'll see. So you interact with these little glowy spots, and they can affect the battlefield in some ways. Like my movement on this map is in a desert, so it's very slow. Like I can't move many slots, but when I interact with the Dragon Vein in this map, I can turn it all to like a grassy field, which means I can move a lot further. Depending on the map, it does different things. You can like create rock bridges, you know, over a chasm, or turn like mountainous topography to like something very flat so you can get around, navigate easier. It's a new little quirk because you have this dragon blood in your family. The other thing that they changed up is the pairing system's a little bit different. In Awakening, you would just you could pair up one unit with another, and in battle they would kind of assist each other, and they would give each other stat bonuses, and you'd have a chance of like blocking an incoming attack, or at least their partner would.
Yeah.
That's still in here, but your partner does not join you in the attack. But if you stand next to one of your allies, they can join in the attack, but it's a little bit different than pairing because you don't get the stat bonuses and they don't have the chance to intercept an attack. It's just weird. It's different. Like pairing up makes you a more powerful single unit, while kind of strategically placing your guys to fight alongside next to you is more like offensive, I'd say.
It seems like it potentially can be defensive, just because when a pair of enemies is attacking you, the second one will always get blocked if they're standing next to each other.
If you have a pair.
Or is there a pair?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you have a pair, they'll block the second.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, I gotta be honest, it adds some complexity to the amount of options you have in any given situation, but because there's so many units in a Fire Emblem game, it honestly probably makes the turns take longer because there's just more stuff you gotta think about. Like if you're really trying to maximize like damage potential and whatnot and getting your kills and stuff. I kind of didn't like, I thought pairing was overpowered in Awakening, and now I feel like it's not overpowered, but there's just so many more options, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm only on chapter 8. That's not very far into the game.
Oh.
I mean, there's probably like 20 something chapters
okay, gotcha.
in like any given Fire Emblem campaign. But I am enjoying it. One other new thing that they have is between battles, you go back to your like homestead, like you're kind of like your castle, and you'll actually build like various shops and choose where you want to place them, and your teammates will just be hanging out there, and you can go up and you can actually walk around and like talk to them, and they'll give you like little items. I'm like raising a dragon by feeding it various things, and that's like in my homestead, and your homestead can get attacked. So like the placement of like where you're putting all these different shops and stuff actually is basically determining the map layout from when your homestead gets attacked.
Can you take this dragon that you said you're raising into battle?
Not yet. I mean, it's still like a baby. I'm assuming that I will eventually be able to do that.
So is there anything? I mean, I feel like this game, or this set of games, like its thing is that it's split in between two games. But other than that, like, what is there anything dramatic that sets this apart gameplay wise from Awakening?
Well, like I said, like there's the whole like kind of pairing versus just fighting.
But even that feels like,
them.
but that feels like a minor, like a pretty minor adjustment.
You know,
just seems like a
it
variation.
sounds minor to someone who doesn't play a lot of Fire Emblem, but it's more significant than maybe you think. But you're right. I guess one thing that they do differently, like I guess visually, is that now you kind of zoom down into the battlefield from the map, and you can actually see stuff that's around you up close. They've never done that before.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of a cool visual like upgrade. Like like when you're running around your homestead, you could just go down into like kind of like an over the shoulder camera and just kind of look around in 3D at the stuff you've placed. Like it's never been that before. It's always been much more abstracted, where you would kind of be when you go into a battle like an attack animation, you would just be pulled to like a place that doesn't even really exist, that kind of vaguely, like if you're in a grassy area, you'll be standing on grass. But now you just sort of seamlessly, well, not seamless, but you just zoom down into the map, and it's cool. And maybe it's not so cool here, but like when you're like fighting on a bridge, kind of like holding off a choke point, like seeing those two units face off on that actual bridge actually looks kind of cool. Again, that's just a visual thing, but it's nice to see that they are making some upgrades, because this series, along with Intelligent Systems' other games like Advance Wars,
there you go,
there's a Dragon Vein. It doesn't actually really, they don't make huge advancements visually.
It's just more. That's more when you look at your unit's movement ability, you can see they can move a lot farther than earlier. After using that,
you see how much further
because they can travel farther on grass.
Exactly. It's more that sand impairs their movement, but yes.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it's good. It hasn't quite hooked me in the way that these games can. Like I have not started playing Matchmaker yet. Like I don't know who's gonna marry who and who's gonna have what babies.
Wait, I thought these were family members.
There's like straight up incest.
Very
in this game.
close.
Yeah,
very
you
close.
could absolutely have a baby with a family member in this game.
What?
I don't plan to. In fact, I'm playing as a female character. In Birthright, there is one other female. There are like bi relationships in this game, but only certain characters. And for the first time ever in Fire Emblem, which is impressive.
Relationships.
Well, no, I don't think it's bi and incestual, this relationship. But there's one girl you can stoop in this game as a girl. So I'm definitely going to pursue her. And I think we can still have kids. Maybe we had... I don't know how that works.
I thought
Probably adopt.
I assumed you steal the baby, since that's how all this started.
Well...
That's all you know.
You know what's weird, though? is in the last game, when you had your kids, they would come from the future, like fucking future trunks, to like fight alongside you. I don't know how they're going to explain that away in this game, but I know they are. It's still weird that they're doing that again, but
I think
I guess it's commonplace.
The lady's vagina is a wormhole.
Wait.
Yeah.
Well, why can't they just?
It's just
why can't it
strange.
just be a passage of time?
Because the time does not pass like that.
Yeah.
Your kids come from the future.
Why?
Because that's the only way your kids can
save
fight
the
alongside
past.
you in battle.
And why do they have to fight alongside you in battle?
You know what? Well, because that's a series staple now for some reason.
Why?
Because it lets you play matchmaker and have certain babies. And like this woman's always gonna have this kid, but if she does it with this dude, he's gonna have like the dad's colored hair, and people get into this shit because you pass down skills to your kids.
Why?
Well, because it lets you make
Okay,
god units.
I just wanted to see how far.
Like
down the rabbit
gameplay
hole.
wise, it's kind of cool because you're creating like ultimate
Fair
characters.
enough. Then ultimately, it doesn't matter.
It's just weird. You know, I think they should do a Fire Emblem game where there is a significant passage of time and characters who were young at the start are just like older now and they're fighting along with their kids.
They can become like generals and stuff in the army, like older, like yeah. And like the babies are like your vanguard.
The only time they've ever done that was actually going from like portrait. I mean, well, they've done that in several games, but the biggest, most obvious is like Portrait of Ruin. That's a Castlevania.
Like,
game. Path of Radiance to Radiant Dawn. Like those were like direct sequels that where you saw like Ike, that Fire Emblem character, go from a lot younger to a lot older.
Oh.
But yeah,
Sorry.
I mean that's Fire Emblem. I'm gonna keep playing probably all year long. Because I still don't play handhelds like super frequently.
Who does?
It's kind of right before
I'm
before
still
bed.
playing Majora's Mask.
I wish I could be one of those people who like sits up in bed and like reads or plays a game for half an hour, but I'm not. I start playing a game and I'm out in 3 minutes.
I'm trying to do the same
so it's
thing.
like I open it, I do a couple turns, and I'm like, I'm done.
I have the same exact problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pretend like I don't have that problem, but I totally do.
Yeah.
Sorry, you said Ike. I had a flashback to Super Smash Brothers.
I don't mean to say problem. You shouldn't say problem because some people really struggle with. Like Malia hates that I can go to sleep so quickly because she's the opposite. So I don't mean to like.
You should just teach her how to play the game until I just tell her to make some progress, and then just pass out.
I'm saying it's a stupid thing to complain about. But yeah,
Fair enough.
Smash Brothers, you got bodied.
Yeah, dude. I suck at that game. I suck so
It's because
bad.
you were fucking around with like Bayonetta and stuff. If you
No,
were, like, young
Bayonetta
Link-
is the only character I can do anything
But
with.
what about your
It's a
Link?
jump.
Your young Link.
Dude, I can only be good at one character in Smash Brothers at a time.
Dude,
the
no,
moment
no.
I put down a character and I try another character, I pretty much erase any progress I made with the character before it. I tried going back to Toon Link like so many times, and I couldn't.
That's ridiculous.
It's
You've
true.
gotta have some degree of muscle memory.
No, I do.
Like,
That's not the.
Did y'all have fun at least?
Yeah, it was
No.
fun. What? No.
it was
Did
great.
y'all play all the new characters?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Who's
fun. I was
who's
just
the
joking.
coolest? Bayonetta.
Dude, I
Bayonetta.
really like Cloud.
Dude, Bayonetta rocks.
Cloud's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did y'all
Bayonetta was
do Midgar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midgar
Yeah.
is cool,
It's
yeah.
pretty cool. There's like a summon that happens in the middle of the fight where fucking Odin shows up and he cuts the stage in half and it goes.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
kinda
like the Odin Summon. It was
Yeah.
like, cut the screen.
But
in
he cuts
half.
the whole
Yeah.
world in half. It's pretty rad. And Bayonetta's like moveset translates pretty damn beautifully over
Yeah.
to Smash Brothers, which is great.
Her little down.
You can do Witch Time.
Witch time thing is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Well, how
good.
does that work?
Like
So
You
you-
dodge.
if you dodge,
it's
just
just
time.
like the Fire Emblem parries, except instead of like doing a riposte attack, she just puts them into Witch time, so they move slower for.
It's rad, and
Cool.
it feels so good, just like actual Bayonetta does.
What else have we been playing?
Pretty
Um,
cool.
I have two games that I can. Which one would you like to hear about
Let's
first?
hear about Primal.
All right,
People want to hear about Primal.
Far Cry Primal. I know Krispy's been playing a little bit up too, right?
A little bit, yeah.
I'm about 10 hours into it or something.
I don't know that.
Okay, so this game is Far Cry as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that right now. However, I would like to preface this. I read an article today, and it had some really good ideas, and I think I'm gonna roll with it. I am really, really, really excited to go back to this game because I'm gonna turn off the mini map. I'm gonna bump up the difficulty, and I'm going to just try and experience this game more naturally because
Turn off subtitles.
that was one of the recommendations. Actually, is turn off
You
subtitles.
can do that?
Yeah.
And you don't understand what
Yeah,
it is?
you have to infer the story from like.
I mean,
That's
the
what we-
subtitles are pretty basic as it is.
Isn't
It's
that what we
like-
originally thought like the
it's like
game was going to
fight
be like
showtime.
anyways?
Yeah, so they apparently this is apparently a made up language, which
Yeah.
makes
Oh,
sense.
go figure.
But like and it's I don't know if it's that
That's what they
I don't know
call
if it's that
saber-tooth
1-to-1.
tigers.
Anyways, so this game has I will say this, I am going into this, everybody has the expectation, yes, that because of the fact that they're putting it in the Stone Age, it's going to be a step backwards from a gameplay perspective. There's no wingsuits, there's no grenade launchers, there's no machine guns.
But there's gyrocopters, right?
There's
There's one secret gyrocopter made out of bamboo and coconuts. that you can
They
find.
should have just made a Flintstones game where, yeah, sure, there's a gyrocopter.
right? It's just the fucking, your cars are like fucking sitting like
Because
rock
fuck
wheels
it.
and-
The game does have a UAV.
What?
It's an
It's an
owl.
okay, I was about to say
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll get to the animal taming thing in a second, but I kind of want to lead with the idea that like despite this being a huge step backwards, like from a gameplay perspective, I guess
Oh my god.
this has the potential to be one of my favorite Far Cry games just because the world is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, I love this
What makes it so awesome, Nick?
it's vast, it's huge, like all these giant redwood trees are everywhere. It's super vertical. It's all hills and cliff sides and caves and underwater caves and just, and it just feels, I don't want to say alien, but like it just feels different because you can tell, like you have this sense of like, okay, human beings haven't really touched this world
Yeah.
in any significant way, really. And it, you know, and on a technical level, I don't know. I personally feel like I've noticed a huge step up in like visual fidelity in this game from Far Cry 4 to this. And I don't know what it is.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the lighting engine, because the lighting in this game is pretty spectacular, especially at night when all there is moonlight. Because like, and the light coming through the trees looks freaking incredible.
Hold on. Pause. I seen Chris Davis make that joke on Twitter, and I didn't get it then, and I don't get it now. I'm assuming it's not funny, but explain it to me.
What joke?
The
Holocene?
I
What
don't
does
know.
he say?
I don't know.
Holocene?
I think I've Holocene everything I need. I don't know. I don't get it.
Holocene?
I don't get it. Holocene is the time. Oh yeah,
Oh.
You're
a nerd.
What a. Anyways, so I just kind of wanted to lead with that because I think the world feels super cool, and you know, it's populated with like way more wildlife than any of the previous Far Cries at this
I
point.
mean, the previous Far Cry had some large
There's
amount of
fucking
animals.
there are animals everywhere in this game, and most of them want to kill me.
Yeah.
I've been killed by a pig.
But have you been killed by a dinosaur?
I've been killed by.
There's no dinosaurs.
Why? Why is there no dinosaurs?
This is post. This is Stone Age.
Because-
Post dinosaurs,
Okay, no, I
man.
get it.
Because
Post.
there's
Why
a
is there-
certain amount of credibility that a series like Far Cry has to maintain.
Hey,
And adding
don't-
dinosaurs
don't pretend like-
coexisting with human beings is immoral and improper.
He has a point.
Let's not pretend for 1 second that this
There are
game
no
is a.
creationists at Ubisoft.
Hey, let's not pretend that you think this series is above that, because Blood Dragon was a fucking ridiculous departure, and it was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's the joke, Nick.
I'd be playing this right now if there was dinosaurs in it. But like, the woolly mammoths just seem like the elephants from Far Cry 4.
Hey, you know what?
They are.
They are.
They are.
I don't-
exactly what
Dude,
they are.
it really, like, for me, like, this time period just seems really, really interesting to me. Because it you know, sure, it's not dinosaurs. It's very familiar, but it does exist in this weird, like void, or not void, but like this weird time period in between dinosaurs and civilization, and I think that's really cool.
You know what I will say about Far Cry so far? Again, I haven't played quite as much as you have, but I've played enough to get a sense that this is a really cool idea. And I kind of like that Ubisoft was saying, hey, what can we do with this series that's just like really different than what we've ever done before? It's not another, you know, run and gun sort of mercenary on an island kind of game, which, you know, they all
Dude, look at, I don't know, look at this lighting, man. It looks fucking incredible. Just like
the idea of
Sorry.
doing caveman times is
Yeah.
interesting, but the execution is still
This is why I'm
really rigidly Far Cry.
It is very far. That's why I opened with this is Far Cry.
And when you guys were making the joke about the owl being a UAV, like I didn't even really realize until just then, but that owl is exactly a UAV.
Well,
they added bombs to the game just so that the owl would have something to do, like drop bombs on people. It's not like they've taken these ideas and done anything like super crazy, like out of the box with them. But you know they're trying, and for Ubisoft,
sure.
that's,
And there are a few things that I want to point out in a second, but but in the sense that yes, this is a like pretty much every major mechanic that's in Far Cry 3 and 4 has an equivalent here, with the exception of gyrocopters, I guess.
with the exception of flying.
But like everything, like there's even a grappling hook like you can use in the exact same way as the grappling hook in 4. Everything has been kind of lifted and then readapted for the time period.
Yeah.
And from a
Have you invented the wheel yet?
no,
No.
not,
on it.
not invented the wheel yet.
That would be
There-
crazy.
like-
As if at the end of the game you could craft a wheel and like roll it down hills to kill people and shit like that. And they're just like, oh, he's a god. What is that round stone he has?
So you remember in Far Cry 3 and 4 where you kept getting attacked by fucking like hawks and shit?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's still here.
God,
But you
that's
can now
so-
do that with your owl.
It was the worst.
You can basically do that to
You
other
can
enemies.
attack yourself
Dude,
with your own owl.
the worst thing about getting attacked by animals like the owl and the snake is that it's all like this contextual animation that triggers when it happens.
Yeah.
So if you see an owl flying around and you pull out your bow and arrow and you knock an arrow and you get ready to shoot the owl while it's like dive bombing towards you, it'll cancel out your shot to do that stupid little
I've
animation.
noticed. I don't think that
Correct.
happens in this game.
No, it definitely does. That happened
Okay.
to me.
I'll
And
be
it
honest.
pissed me the
The
fuck
problem
off.
is
I'll be
you
honest.
have to shoot it before the animation can start.
I will be
Yeah,
honest.
but that animation is like pretty far out.
Fair enough.
Like-
I will say this though. I have. Maybe you had a different experience than me, Krispy, but I've only been attacked by a bird twice in this game.
Oh, dude, I've already been attacked.
Once
like
was
4
in a
times.
mission last night where I literally had to climb to the top to go to an eagle nest. So yes, there were eagles flying everywhere, and I was getting attacked. The other time, I had once out in the open world. Hasn't really happened to me since.
Man, y'all I don't want to hear it. Y'all play some Morrowind if y'all want to see some bullshit coming out of the sky. This is like baby game.
Oh, shut the fuck up,
compared to
Brad. We're
Cliff
talking
Racers.
about Far Cry.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm gonna side with Krispy on this one, Brad. Shut up.
But so what I'm really enjoying about it is that they took a step back. You really only have what.
Did you just like rip a tree out of the ground?
Dude, this game takes that whole crafting
Yeah.
thing to like the 10th degree.
Well,
Like
because
all your,
everything, like all your weapons are crafted.
you craft weapons, you
Which is
craft
kind of nice.
you have to craft weapons, clothes, huts for your village. Like
Yeah.
you have a hut like a village that's slowly growing over the course of the game, and as you go back to the village, you can upgrade. Like certain characters have their own like hut, and as you upgrade their hut, they give you they unlock new abilities in your skill tree.
Can you just like say fuck one guy and just not upgrade his hut?
yeah, but you
Just to
kind
sleep on
of
the ground?
lock yourself out of certain abilities.
Yeah.
Doing that.
All of your skill tree is all different villagers that you have.
Yeah,
Who teach you to do different things.
yeah. So like there's someone that
There's like 6 people you have to find, and they all have a specific
Teach myself.
school that they teach you.
Yeah.
Well, you're a caveman. You don't know anything.
What are they?
They're cavemen who know one thing.
yeah, exactly. But from a combat perspective, what I'm really enjoying is that like they did dial it back dramatically. So literally, in this game, you have a bow, a spear, and a club.
Is
And
it
you
like an automatic club?
No.
Semi-automatic?
no.
Okay.
And you upgrade those throughout the game. That's kind of it. I mean, there are other things you can throw bees nests.
Yeah.
I did see that.
You can throw bombs and stuff later too. That is the part that I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around. In that the weapons are completely different than any other Far Cry game, with the exception of the bow. So in other games, they would have like a shit ton of weapons, and a big part of gameplay was upgrading them and finding better weapons. But you had to you had to complete missions to unlock them. You had to earn money to buy them and shit like that. None of that exists in Primal. It's you have 3 weapons, and
You have to craft them all.
you have to craft them. By like an hour into the game, you've got them. And they're consumable. Like they can break. Any weapon you have, with the exception of the bow, I think you can light on fire to use as a torch, which means they will eventually
And you can light
burn
your
out.
arrows on fire.
Right, you can light you can that's right. You can light
And
your
they
arrows
will
on fire.
burn. Like if you leave them on too long, they will burn
Right,
up.
They
and
burn,
you
and then you
Wow.
have to craft a new one. If you use a weapon too many times, it can break, and then you have to craft a new one. But that also kind of means there's not really you can upgrade how many spears you can carry, but there's not a whole lot
There's
of.
still a limitation
Well, actually,
to
I just
Like-
got the first major upgrade for the spear, and it looks totally different. It does more damage. You can throw it farther.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, it's still a spear, a club,
Yeah.
and a bow.
yes,
And that's what you've got.
I know, and I'm really enjoying having to rely on that bow pretty heavily. And I think
That's true.
That's gonna be the divisive part for a lot
That's
of people.
fun.
I think.
But when I played 3 and when I played 4, I used the bow 80% of the time.
I
Already.
did
See,
use a
I
lot of
played
bow in
this
3 and
game, is
4.
what I'm saying.
Okay, see, I think that's where the difference is going to be, because I didn't if given the choice, if someone gives me a bow, I'm going to use it a few times, but then someone throws a fucking grenade launcher in my lap or a machine gun, I'm going to, even if I tell myself I want to play with the bow, I'm always going to try and experiment and have fun with all the different weapons they offer. So
Yeah.
being restricted to playing with such a small subset of weapons and really being forced to play in a very specific way is actually making this a very enjoyable experience for me. And that's why when I go back to it, I'm going to turn off the mini map. I'm going to bump up the difficulty, and I'm going to, and I've already kind of done this. I don't fast travel. I run everywhere. And because you have to be precise to a degree with it. I mean, there's a little bit of aim assist with the bow, but
Yeah.
you can only fire these arrows as quick as you can, pull
Right.
pull back.
And you still have
Knock
to
and draw.
account
Yeah.
for
Gravity.
dip.
Yeah, and
everything
all that stuff that was great in 3 and 4 is still here. It's just you rely on it more. You have to get better at it because you are playing the whole game like that. But yeah, a lot of people have already done this naturally in 3 and 4. And I think those are the people that are going to be maybe far less interested in playing this. But that in combination with like this really, really cool setting, I think is pretty awesome. You do also have the ability to tame animals, which is cool. So I'm literally running around with a cave lion right now, and you can sick them on people, and you can use them as distractions that allow you to like circle around behind groups of enemies, and it's kind of like Pokemon in a way. You can collect all these different animals throughout the world. You have to like sneak up on them and tame them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's just
how much of this game feels like an extension of the Shangri-La stuff from Far Cry 4.
Honestly, not. There hasn't been any, because that was really like surreal and trippy, and
I'm not talking about visually. I'm talking about didn't that game those parts
you
also
were
give
using
you control over like a tiger,
and that's probably where the idea from this kind of
bows and stuff
kind of came out of. But like that whole area was designed to, like, in the Shangri-La sections, you felt kind of like a god, because like you kind of were in those sequences, and you know, you were really powerful. You had, like, you were drawing like 3 arrows at once, and like you had that really powerful tiger.
Can you not do that here?
I mean, I don't know. I have maybe when you upgrade the weapon more, but like you like that, I felt like a god. This, I feel like, at least early on, it's, you know, it can be hard to stay alive, especially when you get those like 3 or 4 dudes, and suddenly you have to take out 4 dudes with a bow and arrow like really quickly. It can be difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
but that I've heard that gets as you play, as you know, it gets easier, and then it's, at a certain point the game just becomes easy, which is why you know, a lot of people have recommended bumping the difficulty up.
Yeah. I think for my money, it's fun.
Now,
I like Far Cry.
It's funny you bring that up, and I'm glad you did, because while I'm really, really, really enjoying this game,
I didn't even really say.
Well, you said money for your money, and I think that's an important distinction to make here.
You said money, and I'm gonna jump off of that.
I am, because there's an important thing to be said here, in that I'm loving this game, but I don't think it was right to charge $60 for it. Not because I don't think it's worth $60. It's because this game does feel in some weird way
like a mod?
Like a continuation of like
an expansive DLC.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
That is essentially the point I was going to make. Thank you, Nick. But you don't know that I was going to say. For my money, this game is incredible. Is probably what I was going to say.
For your money?
No. But yeah, like Nick was saying, I would kind of like to get it out. It's a really cool idea, but the execution doesn't stray far enough from the last 2 Far Cry games that we've had since, 2012?
Yeah.
So
when did 4 come out? That was last
for the end.
That was last November.
Yeah, that was
that was
2014.
No. 4 was was a year from
the end of 2014.
Not the November that happened like 3 months ago.
Yeah, the November before that.
Yeah.
It's
or December, whatever.
It's cool ideas. You kind of get a sense that like the initial planning meetings for this game were like really exciting, and people had a lot of really neat ideas that they threw around, and then reality set in, and they had to fit all of that into a game system in a mold that they already had. Yeah. That they've already pushed 2 games through. You know? So,
I completely agree with you. This had, for me, like, going back to what I said at the beginning, like this, I feel like this has the potential to be one of my favorite Far Cries, just because I'm really, really, really digging the setting.
Yeah.
Like, for me, the setting is going a long way for me, even though I know that the gameplay is very iterative.
The caveman thing is cool. I kind of like killing cannibals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the enemies are cannibals. That's too. Oh, and I got to a point last night where I kind of went into the north part of the map, and it's starting to snow. And you actually have a cold meter, and you have to craft clothes to keep yourself warm, and find fires to keep yourself warm. Otherwise, you'll eventually freeze to death.
Keep yourself warm.
Dude, I found a couple of enemies fucking last night.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
Just running around in the dirt.
What else?
They were in a hut. They were fucking. Actually, I saw them on my UAV.
And you killed them?
Did you murder them?
They finished fucking. Yeah.
That was very nice of you to listen.
I waited. I didn't.
Wait, was there actually like a whole like end to the sequence? Did they like finish and then?
Well, I don't know.
And then cuddle for a minute.
He finished and then he killed.
No, it's because I accidentally. While they were fucking, I tried to sneak around and like disable one of the horns that they used to blow like the alarms. And I got spotted, and then I think that interrupted them, and then it canceled their fucking animation, so they stopped.
Have you seen any boobs in this game yet?
I saw a man's penis.
Oh, those are boobs.
That's not the same thing, but okay.
So no, no. I thought I would have seen boobs by this point, but no.
I think I saw one. I
I
think
just
there
got
was like a
peed. I just
cave
got,
lady
I just got peed on by a dude.
walking around. No, yeah, like a cave lady walking around my village who just had like one boob hanging out. I was like, yes, worth it. $60.
I will say this too. I'm actually really enjoying like the characters themselves. It's fun to watch. Like they did a really good job of like capturing that caveman, like their movements, their
rustic charm.
No. But like their movements, their interactions, the way they talk to each other. Like I feel like ultimately the story is probably going to be really tame compared to previous Far Cry stories. But like
the characters do act like most cavemen I've met.
Yeah.
Yes.
Encino Man,
I see what you did there.
Brendan Fraser, wheezing the juice.
Oh yeah, this is actually the area I'm talking about right now. Where I went to the north. Anyways, whatever. So that's Far Cry Primal. I'm really enjoying it. I think a certain number of people are really going to enjoy this. And other people are probably going to be like, maybe feel a little ripped off because I don't know if it's $60.
How much is the following?
What?
By itself, the following
by
is
itself is 20.
In that game,
And this is 60.
Yeah.
And I would say
I'm
the
not
following
trying.
is
Like, I
definitely
don't even
worth
want to. I don't even necessarily want to like try and make. I don't want to have the argument or the discussion that like it's not worth the money because maybe some people didn't play 4 and this is like the first one they've played since 3, or maybe the first Far Cry they've played ever. I don't know.
Okay.
So for some people, it'll be totally worth the $60. I still feel like it's like Far Cry 4 is still pretty fresh in my mind. So maybe
If you still worked at a game store and you saw a dude come up as like, all right, Dark Souls 3 or Far Cry Primal. I really like Far Cry 4. Really like Dark Souls 2.
He'd say,
which
why
do I
not
get?
both?
Which one did you pre-order?
You suck, Brad.
I mean, I'm saying like I'm trying to get. Maybe I'm not quite
I haven't
understanding
played-
like how much you think this is not worth $60.
I've
But
played-
does
I
No.
actually do not think it's worth $60.
I also like. I think it's walking on thin ice trying to have the conversation about worth $60 because there is definitely more than enough content here to keep anyone like this is still a $60 product in terms of like you can play this game for like 40-50 hours and have a shit ton of fun and be totally cool with that. It just doesn't feel different enough and it's too soon I feel to like really be going the full $60. You know what I mean?
Do you know what game is worth $60, but it doesn't cost $60?
Dying Light the Following?
The Witness.
Yes.
Yes. I just wanted to bring up the fact I finished it. I haven't been on the show in a couple weeks, so between then and now, I actually forgot how many games I played. Not a whole lot, like that I want to talk about them. Just like The Witness. What am I going to say? I finished the game. The ending's
I'm so
cool.
close. I think.
I do really want someone else to finish it though, because I really want to record a spoiler cast.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Did
really
stuff
do.
happen?
It's not so much that stuff happens. It's so much there's particular puzzles that I've wanted to talk about and how I felt when I solved those puzzles and how I felt when I understood this mechanic. But I don't want to say that because it's spoiling the game for people who haven't done that.
Well,
yet.
I'll be finishing it soon.
Cool.
Ish. If I can get past that stupid flashing light puzzle,
Yeah,
which is redonkulous.
you will. Speaking of games that I finished, I also finished XCOM 2.
How long does that take you?
Like maybe 40 hours.
See, I've been playing for 40 hours and I still have not even done the alien
Maybe
decryption thing.
longer, maybe 45. No,
See, I'm wondering if I'm
I think-
really putting it off.
I think about 45 maybe. I don't know. I mean, so I will say that when I looked at your screen, you had like all the room. I didn't have all the rooms in my Avenger unlocked yet. Like there was still one room I hadn't even excavated
So I guess
yet.
the game can be.
It can be a lot
as long
shorter.
as you
And
want
yeah,
it.
then that's the one thing I was kind of talking about with Brad earlier is that the kind of nice thing compared to Enemy Unknown is if you slowed down too much in that game, you're fucked. Like countries would leave and stuff like that. You kind of had to keep going. You had to make progress. But it seems in this, as long as you're maintaining the enemy's progression of their goals, as long as you're slowly whittling that down, you can just almost take as much time as you want. But yeah, so I finished the game. I will say that I did enjoy it. It definitely had much more of a story than Enemy Unknown did, or at least more of a
Like a good story?
a story.
It had a story.
It kind of felt like
of
when I
sorts.
finished it, I was like, wait, it's over now? I don't want to say anticlimactic, because the final battle is definitely not anticlimactic. It's definitely an intense final battle. It's just kind of more of a... They were like, hey, you're about to do the final battle. And I was like, I am? Like, it didn't really feel like I was there
It
yet.
snuck up on you?
Yeah, so I don't know. But I definitely enjoyed it. It was really good. Another quick tidbit from me. The Hitman beta.
Oh, yeah, you played
that
that on PC.
Yeah. So Brad...
They're doing another Hitman beta on PlayStation
Yeah, I heard.
soon.
Brad, so you played it as well.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wanted to talk to you about it a little bit.
Sure.
I do really like that it's more similar to Blood Money than Absolution.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you definitely... you can... you have more freedom, I guess I would say. In terms of...
You weren't running from a helicopter shooting you with
Yeah.
gunfire.
Wait, there's no dramatic escapes from like helicopters and shit?
Well, I mean, in the beta that we played, no.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, there's like Brad was saying last time, there is a cardboard helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
But
So,
you escape on
so
that.
I'm assuming both betas were the same level.
Yeah, it was the same 2 levels. But
really
the really fun thing was being able to replay those levels in any way I fucking wanted. And it really felt like... And because... So when you overhear people talking, they'll be like, do you want to track this quest? And I just don't track it. Like, does that make sense? Like, it'll have like a pop-up and it's like, click this button.
Because you want to find it yourself?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I heard 2 people talking about some event somewhere. Cool. I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And I really like that because I wish it would give you the option to say ignore. It doesn't. You have to wait like 30 seconds for the prompt to go away. But like on the second area, well, first of all, Brad, the second area you had to assassinate that one guy.
Yeah.
Spoilers, Hitman. You
The chess
assassinate
master.
people. Yeah, the chess master. And so what I did was I snuck up the left side and I sniped in through the window with my silver baller and then walked out. I was like, wait, you can... It seemed a little too easy.
Yeah.
Wait, this
I mean, that's definitely
infiltrate and assassinate mission ended with you walking up to a window and shooting them through a window and then just walking away?
Yep.
Yes!
Yep.
Hey, work smart, not hard.
Yeah, that's true. But then I was like, you know what? I did replay each level multiple times. I fucked around a bunch, you know, what you do in Hitman. And the second one, the chess master one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to play this like for reals. You know, I snuck in, I knocked out a guard, by throwing a hammer at his head. I dressed up as him. And
It's really subtle.
Yeah. I threw a coin and he was like, what's that? And then when he went to go pick it up, I just chunked a hammer at his head.
wrath of Monia!
Throw the coin, he's like, hey, what's that? Just kidding, it's a hammer.
And so yeah, so the similar to Absolution, if you were in a certain outfit, other people in that outfit will notice you more.
Oh, I thought you said that wasn't in the game.
Wait, in Absolution, any person who was wearing the same outfit as you would notice you, and you would have to use
like
a meter
tip your mat.
that would
Yeah.
drain by tipping your hat down as you walked past them.
That's not in this game. In this game, if you get too close to someone and you're wearing their outfit, you only have like a second or two. You don't have long to get away from them. Otherwise, they won't
you have to
immediately
be, like,
set
really
off an
close.
alert.
And
Yeah.
they'll have some people who have like little dots over their head, and
Yeah.
those are the people who like know everyone. So they'll recognize you if you get too close to them.
Yeah.
So you have to stay away from those.
So you have
Yeah.
to stay away from certain people.
They're the
Try to pick
social
them.
folks.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was playing it and I was kind of wandering around the base and I found a piece of paper on the ground and I was like, what is this? And I picked it up and I was like, what? And then I was walking around, I talked to some guy and he was like, oh, you're the one here to do the interview or whatever with that guy. Yep, just come right this way. And I was like, oh, okay. And then like I talked to the guy I'm supposed to kill and he's like, all right, let's get this over with. And I'm like, yes, let's.
Wait, what was the paper?
It was like some document stating some. I don't remember because it gave a prompt to follow this line
was-
and I didn't.
A paper.
Yeah, it was like a clipboard on a paper, and so the guy's like, "All right, well, I'll follow you." And I was like, "Okay." So I like led him to a corner. The problem was he had a guard with him, and so I threw a coin, and the guard was like, "Don't do that." And so then I took a
Jab, and I threw a hammer.
I took a,
Sir, stop throwing money around.
I took a pool ball. I believe it was the number 13, and I chunked it at the guard's, and he got knocked out. And then I knocked out my target, and I killed him. And then I walked out the door.
You killed him how?
I think I snapped his neck.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Made it look like autoerotic asphyxiation.
Exactly. And then as I was walking out, done with my task, and I was dressed as a mechanic, I threw a hammer at the guard's head, and then I pressed the escape button.
Do you see what I was saying about
Sounds like
how
a
this
perfect
seems
way
a
to
hell
end.
of a lot easier than an old school Hitman game?
So yes and no.
Which I think
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think I would like to believe that these were training levels, and so they seem definitely less populated. Well, I guess the boat wasn't. The other one was. Than like Blood Money, and I
But
don't.
were you using like the instincts?
Not really.
Okay, like to see through walls.
I did a little bit, but overall I tried not to be constantly using it. Every once in a while I used it, and there is a limited range on it. It doesn't span the entire map, which is nice. I wish it was even more limited than that, and I wish you could only use it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like it would drain, like almost like listen mode in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Online on factions, not in the game. It's unlimited, but in factions, you can only use it so much.
Oh.
And I wish it was almost like more like that. That would be cool because then, while you have that resource there that's helpful, you can't just constantly be spamming it. So I don't know. That's my thought on that. But I definitely.
But you definitely couldn't just chunk a hammer at a dude to take him out.
Correct.
Blood
Yes,
money.
yes. And in Blood Money, you could not just throw something at someone's head to take them out. Yeah. But in
And
this,
it sounds like you did that a lot.
just because it's a new mechanic and it's fun. I did one time. I went to throw it at his head, and right when I let go of it, he ducked, and so it went right over his head.
Every item you pick up, you're like, I wonder if I could throw this at someone's head.
Yeah. But yeah, I am cautiously optimistic and excited for it.
Cool.
That'd be great if there was a Gilligan's Island mod where every time like a guard always ducks down as you like throw something at them and they're like completely unaware, like, oh, a coin, or oh, there's something.
My shoe's untied.
Like a Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo. There you go. That's a better.
Well, thanks for catching us up, Nolan.
Yep. That's I think.
We also played some more following.
That's the only other thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, I played a little bit more of The Following.
Game is so good.
Yeah, it's still really fucking good. I mean, in our most recent playthrough last on Saturday,
Sunday.
Whenever the fuck it was, some beautiful like vistas and like, just some great scenery, like climbing mountains and like and
I took a lot of screenshots between Far Cry Primal and Dying Light this weekend.
Yeah, like it was really good. The
What do you do
story.
with those?
I don't
Jerk
know. I
off
thought
to
maybe because I was thinking about writing a little thing about some stuff on Far Cry, and I
True
maybe
that,
I'll have some
true that,
screenshots
true
with
that.
it. My own screenshots that I
Yeah.
took with my own hardware.
2 hands.
And so yeah, so Dying Light, still really enjoying it. It seems that even more so than in the original, like the proper vanilla game, the side missions are just like kind of boring and whatever.
Yeah.
But the actual story mission is kind of interesting, and I'm kind of curious as to where that's going.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of few and far between, mainly because the biggest issue that Dying Light, The Following has is any main story mission. It's going to start you on one side of the map, and the next point in the mission is going to be on the exact opposite side of the map.
Because I want you to drive that
and
buggy.
it keeps fucking going back and forth, and like just making you like ping pong
It's
around
still really
the map.
cool though to like end up in a situation where someone's car gets fucked up or runs off a cliff sling, and then they have to jump it. Like they have to run up, and you have to go pick them up, and they jump in the back of your car, and they're like, "Go, go, go!" You're just driving.
And so even like 60 hours of the original game, I'm now like at least 10 hours into The Following. It still gets fucking intense at night,
Dude,
Like it's
there is-
still to this day.
There
it
is nothing
intense.
scarier than driving and hitting the R3 to look behind you as a nightmare is chasing you, because they're running like full speed and they're like catching up to you super quick. It's so fucking scary.
You got a nitro boost out of there to get away from them. Dude, it's still intense.
Yep, I'm looking forward to playing it again.
Yep.
I think we're coming up in an hour, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, I know Krispy and Chris Davis and Nolan played some of the Division beta. We'll talk about that. I want to go into just talk briefly about Layers of Fear because I played through that. And then we'll do news, and I think we want to try out a new thing.
Sure.
A new thing, Krispy?
A new old thing.
A new old thing.
Old new thing.
Old new thing. And then, yeah. So, don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Cool.
Yay!
Really? Right as I hit record,
Yeah.
the plane flies over us?
Oh, they're coming to save us.
I could have made it.
Oh, thank God, they're here. Thank
From the
God.
gaslight.
Anyways, hello, Brad. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say hello right as you were drinking.
Oh no, I'm here. We're cool.
Welcome to the bump spot. I know we haven't had a couple of these in the past few weeks, but we have some stuff to talk about.
Sweet. Like what?
Well, you just did two.
Any new top fives?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Sure you were.
Yeah, you got Brad did not only one, but two top 5 videos this month. What topics did you cover in your top 5s, Brad?
Did my top 5 most hated video game covers. Anyone can go watch that one now. It's
That
on our
was pretty
YouTube.
good. I'll be honest, I had no idea how Chris Davis was gonna pull that one off, but that video turned out pretty good.
I sent him all those pictures.
Oh, well, suddenly what he did is far less impressive.
And but he's pretty good with those pans.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was impressed. And the other one is my top 5 one-hit wonders.
And that is available exclusively to our supporters on Patreon. So you can go check those out now. If you're a patron, you can find that top 5 we just mentioned on the Patreon activity feed or on the supporter content page on 4playernetwork.com. You can also, if you're watching us live, doesn't matter, you can click it, the link in chat. We also wanted to talk about the Revival Club. Brad and myself recorded the first episode of the Revival Club
That was fun.
this week. It was fun. We talked about Dragon Quest VIII. We're in the process of editing and getting that ready for you guys, and we're going to be releasing it to the public as kind of a what do we want to call it? Pilot.
Yeah, it's a pilot, it's a
Prototype.
test run. We want your feedback. Let us know what you think. If you like it, we'll do more. Probably gonna do more anyways. But just let us know what you think.
Like I said, first episode we talked about Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, and we had some great feedback. We read on the show as we played the game and talked about it, its relevance today, what it was like back in the day when it came out, that kind of stuff. So, and in the future, we'll be giving you guys more time to send in your anecdotes and feedback and comments and whatnot. So, we'll be having that. We'll have that live to you before the end of the week for sure. Also on Sunday, our good friend Bob Webb. You know Bob. You remember Bob? You don't remember? You forgot Bob? Remember Tetropolis?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pass it to Nolan here in a second, but we had an opportunity to check out the game again. It's now called Refactor.
Refactor?
No-
I don't
Nolan
think
didn't think
that's
I
it.
was gonna
I don't
remember
think
it.
it's Refactor.
I got it right?
Yeah.
See, I got it right.
It's Refactor?
Yes.
I thought it was Refractor.
No.
See, you weren't paying attention. Nolan's gonna talk about it now. You actually played it on Sunday.
I thought it was called Recore.
Shut up, Krispy.
Yeah, so I got to play the latest demo, or the build of the game. It's they cut you off after the first boss. So yeah, that's another thing. There's bosses in this game now.
That's exciting.
And I didn't really know what exactly to expect. Especially because the whole first chunk was kind of already what I had played, because I've play tested their game several times for them. But I will say the visuals way better.
That's exciting.
Joseph has immensely improved on his technical skills.
That's cool.
The controls much better. So their game's very physics based. So when you're like moving the rooms, which are shaped like Tetris pieces, anything in that room that's not tied down will also shift around with it.
Yeah, physics.
And as well as your character is susceptible to physics. And in the previous builds of the game, like your character, like if they were standing on the edge of something and physics would pull them over the edge, that would happen. But now, like your character stands up, kind of. So I don't know. They've added a lot. The controls are tighter. And I'll just say that the boss battle was fucking amazing. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, they have a big announcement tomorrow as well. So, do we know when they're making that announcement exactly tomorrow?
I think tomorrow on the dot.
Oh, tomorrow on the dot. Anyways, they're going to be making a great big announcement tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
I'm crossing my fingers for VR support.
We haven't been able to figure out what it is yet. They didn't even tell us.
It's out. It's out tomorrow.
Maybe. Look
I
under your
doubt it.
seats! No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, Brad, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get back to our regularly scheduled podcast?
Me? Why are you asking me?
Because you're sitting right next to me.
Oh, we're still in the bum spot.
Yes.
Oh man, I forgot.
no,
I'm good. I'm doing great. I thought we were on the
Fantastic.
podcast.
Shut up, Brad. We're going
It's
back
been
to
a
the
long
podcast.
night. All right,
We still have a lot to talk about in the podcast. Let's get back to it.
peace out. Holy crap!
You're supposed to say bump out, you fucking doof.
Whatever.
Cruz won Texas by a lot.
Really?
It's
It
fucking
was like
Texas.
41%. Trump was in second place with like 29.
Well, at
Jesus.
least it wasn't
Everyone
Trump.
else
Fucking-
had small peanuts.
Fucks.
But hey, states that matter.
Trump won Arkansas though by a lot.
Oh my fucking god.
Man.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
But Arkansas doesn't matter.
Are like homes in Canada cheap?
Dude,
Let's not jump. Let's just
They're
not.
not gonna let us.
They're not gonna live. Y'all have been tainted. Donald Trump.
We're white guys from Texas. They don't want to have anything to do with us.
I'd vote Republican, but I only hate one Mexican.
Carlos,
All right, let's.
he's kind of an
Oh, we're
ass.
recording. Hey, welcome back to the podcast.
That's going in the podcast.
No.
That's actually gonna bring us back from the break. I can't wait to edit that, or not edit that. We'll see what happens. Anyways, welcome back, guys. We're gonna talk. Well, we have a few more games to talk about. I would like to, real quickly, before we bring Chris Davis in here to talk about the Division. I played Layers of Fear on Brad's recommendation.
There's footage of Layers of Fear.
There is footage.
We better fucking use it because I did not want to play more Layers of Fear.
Why did you not want to play more Layers of Fear?
Because it's the kind of game that once you experience it, you can't really experience it again.
You're true. That is definitely true. Because I played this there and I played it in just over one sitting.
Yeah, that's not super
It's not
long.
a very long game, and what I have found is, or what I believe is that this game is for all intents and purposes is kind of just a fun house. There's not really any
It's a
fail
walking
state.
simulator.
It's a haunted house simulator.
Yeah, I mean it kind of is. It does take in some areas it feels kind of like it takes some cues from like PT, but for the most part what this game does really not all of the scares in this game land. Some of them are jump scares that don't necessarily make the mark they were obviously setting out to. But what this game does really, really, really well is that really trippy shit that happens just outside of the camera's
Just off
view.
camera, yeah.
Just off camera. Yeah, like the number of times in this game that I looked at something, turned away, and then looked right back, and it was completely different
Yeah.
is staggering.
That's the
and,
coolest shit
And
in
the
this
way they do, you'd think that would get old after a while,
no.
but the way that they do it, they find so many creative ways to do it.
I'm not a programmer, but it seems like that would be kind of hard to play.
Yeah, dude. So there's one room in particular that I remember walking into this room, and it's a brightly lit room, and I was like, okay, I gotta find something in the room, and I'm looking around, I'm opening all the drawers, not really finding. I found like a note or something. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for, and then I heard like a phone start ringing, and I was like, where the hell is that phone coming from? And I'm looking around for the phone. I looked everywhere in the room, couldn't find it. I was looking behind, I was trying to find, because there was one wall you could pull like a book and like a shelf would come out, and I was looking everywhere. I was like, I still can't find this fucking phone. And then out of nowhere, I just decided to, for whatever reason, look up. And you looked up, and it was just like an infinite space of just like nothingness with like bookshelves that are all warped and shit. And the phone was up in the fucking ceiling, or up in in some chasm that's hidden off on the edge. But like it was a completely, it felt like a separate dimension that was just outside of my field of view, which was the coolest effect. And there's so many moments like that in this game, in this like short little 3-hour experience, that are just really, really mind-blowing.
Do you recall the part where you open the door and like the woman's there and she like grabs the door shut or whatever?
I may have missed that. Now there was a moment like, I forgot what it was. Something in the game tells you all it says, it gives you no context. It says something like, don't follow her or don't look back. I don't remember what it said, but I had no context. And like 10 minutes later, there was like, because there are like a few parts where there's like this ghost figure woman, and I saw her, and I was like, what is that? And I was just trying to get closer, and then you don't really die because it basically just restarts you like a few rooms back or something like that. But
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, so that's what it was talking about. It said ignore her. And I was like, I completely did the opposite. I was like, ooh, what's that? And man, I wish I had ignored her.
Yeah.
And they do some creepy shit with that chick too, like borderline PT shit, which is really cool.
Whoa.
And like, yeah, dude, like it's so there's so many.
Are
Like
the
you're
walls,
watching,
like closing in.
like
What was happening
no, this is
there?
the lights in this kitchen area go out, and all there is this light focusing on this painting on the wall that has a bunch of fruit, and the fruit starts coming out of the painting and like falling onto the floor, but it's all rotten.
Oh, it's just the changing lighting made it look like all the like the space was like
Yeah,
melting or
it's like a
something.
really, really well put together fun house, and like every single, like sometimes nothing happens in a room, next room something totally insane happens, and like that shit's just really cool. It's like I don't know if it's like a horror experience that's going to like I'm gonna remember for years to come.
Yeah.
But it's certainly like I would love to see a like actual like survival horror game set in, you know, do more shit. Like this is like Amnesia is close, but it doesn't take that craziness as far as this game does.
There are multiple endings.
There are multiple endings, I believe. I'm not sure exactly what affects what affects the ending that you get, but there are a few, I think, minor decisions you can make. But yeah, like the end, there's a pretty clear area at the end where you can see where it kind of splits and it can go one way or the other.
Is it
but
like a happy ending and a sad ending, or
it might be.
are they all shit?
I have a feel. So what's cool is that, like, it's called Layers of Fear because you play this character who's a painter, and at the beginning of the game he's trying to paint. You doesn't really give you any context. It's just
His magnum opus.
he's trying to paint something. So you go in between these like quote unquote layers of fear, which basically involves you running through this house. You always end up finding something and then coming back to this room, and more of the painting is uncovered.
When you ever come back, is it ever dick butt on the painting?
No dick butt. Sorry.
Yeah, like that.
I would.
But you're slowly unraveling. Like you're starting to pick up on like this painter is like he has a really troubled past. He has like some really serious family issues. He may have murdered someone, and you know, you're kind of picking up on these things. And every time you kind of uncover a piece of that puzzle, you find your way back to this room with the painting.
Is he a good painter? Like, is his painting good?
That's kind of you gotta play it. I mean, that's kind of like the question.
Wait, really?
A little bit.
Like, you could get to the end of the game and it's just like stick figures of blood, like on a canvas.
Oh,
and
I don't know if it's like
no,
that.
he actually
It's-
sucks as a painter.
It's not that
that's the real
blatant,
tragedy.
but it does have like one of the, you know, like it does kind of go with like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and kind of expecting a different outcome, and like he doesn't perceive himself to be like he has some serious insecurities about his painting, and
I thought you were going to say penis.
that kind of plays into the story.
yeah, this is all big. This is all big Freudian
Yeah.
It's
penis envy.
It's cool though.
Allegory.
It's a really, really cool experience, and it does, like every time you leave this painting room, like you open that door and it's not what it was when you first came in. Like,
Yeah.
it's basically just you walk out every door you walk through, you know is going to be different than what it was moments before, but you never know where it's going to go, and that's pretty exciting. And there are times where you can kind of choose between going this way or this way, and you know it ends up playing out in different ways, but it's pretty rad. I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm not into horror games, but I watched a lot of trailers for this one. And
There is like, it's nerve wracking. It's kind of scary, but like, there's no fail state.
yeah,
You're just gonna like brute force your way through it until it's over, and
I'm seriously considering trying this.
you can knock it out in like
I
3.5
think you should.
hours.
There's no way Krispy would get through this game.
Yeah,
Maybe with some moral support.
yeah. Maybe if I had someone with me.
I mean, let's be honest, folks. When what's the next big horror game coming out? Well, like any of those PT clones, I'm not going to be able to play by myself.
Alice in
I
Road.
fully intend on inviting all of you to come over and play it with me because I'm not going to do it by myself.
Q.
Dude, yeah. That's probably the only way I will ever actually experience.
Yeah, fuck it. Anyways, speaking of experiencing, I don't know where I was going with this. Let's talk about The Division.
Speaking
y'all
of
played-
experience, which is part of RPG systems, let's
Yes.
talk about The Division, which is...
So I think Brad's gonna step out for a second, let Chris Davis come in here because Crispy and Nolan.
to fucking be here anyways.
Good. I don't like you.
Fucking Tom Clancy. Shit.
You're a human fart.
Did that just happen?
No.
Oh man! Hello, Chris Davis, coming out from behind the computer
Somebody have a
monitor.
pillow or
Yes.
something?
So
Just throw your phone.
Something. This is comfy.
Hand me a stuffed animal or a pillow.
why?
Just do it, Nick. You're killing. Oh, there's dead air.
Sorry. So the Division.
Thank you.
That's what you needed that for?
The door was open.
That's true.
Anyways, the Division beta. Y'all all played it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
I played-
That is my contribution to this
Right.
conversation. Y'all take it from here.
Yes, we played the Division beta, and
Chris Davis
yeah, I didn't have any interest in the game, but
No.
the beta kind of piqued my interest. It's pretty interesting.
How?
So I will say that I was in the same boat with Krispy. It was a speedboat, dual engine, and I also was not excited for the Division. But there was an open beta. Chris Davis was like, "I'm casting it. Who wants to join me?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll join." So I played some of it. I'd never played any of it before. I wasn't in the closed beta or anything like that. And so I played a little bit by myself. And similar to like Dying Light, you can just jump into your friend's game.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I like that. You know, Carlos just like jumped into my game and we started, running around doofman and up the world.
It's like
Yeah.
3 button presses practically.
Yeah, no, it's really it's similar to Dying Light. It's really easy to
Do you
just
get the
jump into a
sense
friend's
though
game.
that it's going to be really easy to get left behind by other people you're playing if you don't play with them all the time?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's what I love about Dying Light is that y'all are so much farther than me, but I'm still able to jump in and I haven't had any
I mean,
issues.
as far as like gear scaling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is kind of like MMO light sort of thing. So so every player is going to be trying to get to the level cap as fast as possible and then stay there and just get better gear. So I mean, I think if you are if like most of your gameplay experience is going to be at that end cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not going to be in the levels leading up to it. So in that respect, I don't think so.
Chris
but
Davis, do you know what the level cap is in this game? Or?
It's 30.
30. Okay. Well, I mean,
And what I do know is that once you hit the level cap, it completely repopulates the dark zone. So you get much higher enemies and you get much better loot.
Okay.
What was the
Sorry.
cap for the
It was
beta?
8 or 8. It was technically like
It was
8.999 or something like that.
Yeah,
You couldn't actually hit
basically
9.
just-
But I got to level 8 in like 2
Yeah,
hours.
it didn't
Yeah.
take very
Like it
long.
took no time whatsoever to get there.
That was basically the opening like tutorial levels. to,
Yeah, there was
set
like
up your
two. There was
base.
like 2 main story missions, and the missions were go and shoot a bunch of dudes.
Is it open world?
It is.
Yes.
It's okay. So let's not mince words here. It's Destiny. It's Destiny.
Well, I
okay?
can't say that
So-
because I've never played Destiny,
Okay,
but I'll
well,
take your word
as,
for
as
it.
somebody who has played a lot of Destiny, it is Destiny. A year ago, that might have not been a selling point for me, but you know, I've gotten back into Destiny, and it's fun to play with friends, which was the selling point of the beta here too. Playing with a group of people was really fun.
You know, that's probably like the only reason
It
I'm actually still
does-
hesitant.
It does some things. It does some things better than Destiny. For instance, like the sort of continuity of the world, like the quote unquote open worldness of it is a lot better in the Division than it is in Destiny. I feel like, even though Destiny has a bunch of different locations you can go to, they're all connected by really long loading screens and menus and stuff like that. You're never like on Mars and then like, oh, well, I want to go over to this location. Well, that's going to take another 4 minutes of loading in
Yeah.
and out of menus to get over there. So that's a little disconcerting. In the Division, and then even if you want to go into like PvP in Destiny, you have to pull up a map, you have to select your playlist queue, load into it, wait for that, which takes a long time to actually load those PvP games because it's doing matchmaking in the loading screen.
Yeah.
And you can't even really see what's going on. But Destiny, the Division, it's all there. It's all on the map. So you start on one end of the map in the little receiving area. You go out to the world. That world is like your single player space, and then you go into the Dark Zone. And going into the Dark Zone, as we've talked before, is going into the PvP area. But there's no loading really between any of it. It's like you literally open a door and a wall, and you're in the PvP component of the game.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
There's only two instances of loading. One when you die,
Right.
and it's kind of transparent. But when you're going into your base of operations, it forces you to walk. So you know that it's a loading zone in which it's loading the rest of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
But just to mention that, one way they kind of combat making you slow down and walk into it is when you walk in, there's a big wall and it has like all the stats of your world. Like, oh, this is how much of this in your base of operations you're trying to fix certain, like the medical wing, and then this wing you're trying to fix those, and it will tell you, oh, this is its progress. This is how much of this stat you have of it and stuff like that. And that's kind of a cool. And that's one of the things I guess they really tried to nail down in this game was how the HUD and how that whole aspect of the game works. And so I thought that was a really good way that they handled that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the major difference, I guess, between this game and Destiny, which I'm comparing those two a lot because they are essentially broad strokes the same product.
Yeah.
Is that this one is a third-person kind of more action shooter as opposed to like a first-person shooter. That means that one of the biggest like stylistic changes so far from what we've seen is that PvP is kind of just that open world run around shoot people PvP. They don't really have like the team deathmatch style PvP that something like Destiny does, which I mean that's a Bungie game, so those like very close like team-based PvP matches are kind of their bread and butter. That's what Halo was all about, you know? You don't really have an analog to that in The Division.
Well, I would say the analog to that is like DayZ, for example.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but that's a completely different experience. That is I mean, the only similarity is that there are other players on the map and you're shooting them. Like the actual rules, like the actual like gameplay of that area is completely different than loading into like a Rift match in Destiny. You know what I mean? That is like true. Traditional like kind of first person shooter like MLG style.
You're not
like,
competing for points or kills,
right.
and you're not trying to. There's no.
They give you like in-game rewards for completing those modes, but here the Dark Zone is much more kind of integrated into the
lore,
like
the
the
story,
world experience. Like it's much more like you're kind of going to and from at will. You're going in there to find gear, bring it out. You do have a completely different set of experience and like levels in the Dark Zone.
Yeah, so you have outside of the Dark Zone and just the open world, you have a leveling system where you level up, but you also have that a different system to that in the Dark Zone.
So I could get really strong in like the single player, like offline component, and then go into the Dark Zone and have to be like level 1 in the Dark Zone?
Yeah, you never have to go into the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the thing is, in the Dark Zone, level affects certain things. There are Dark Zone merchants who will sell you some pretty good gear, but you have to be at a certain Dark Zone level to buy that gear. There will be chests in the Dark Zone that have good loot in them, but you have to be at a certain Dark Zone level to unlock that chest.
Or have a key or something.
Or find a key, And so we didn't do a whole lot, honestly, in the open world, just because there's not a whole lot to do in there. There's, like you said, there's a few story missions.
You think that's because of the beta?
Yeah, and it's because it's the beta.
Yeah.
There's a few story missions. There's a few little like notes and kind of. There's this weird kind of like storytelling mechanic where they have these like almost like the world kind of pops up around you with like a hologram of
It's called an echo.
An echo of what happened in there in the past.
Isn't that just Tom Clancy story? Where it's projected on a wall?
It looks
it's in
like,
the world.
It looks like detective mode. in Batman.
Yeah, like detective mode.
Yeah.
Like you see something that was there in the past, like a person
You
standing
see like
up.
hologram ghosts around you of like a scene.
And so that's kind of interesting. And another cool thing that I kind of liked about it was, in both in the Dark Zone and outside, if you have friends that are playing the game, you will always see like an icon of your friend on the minimap.
Yeah.
Like where they are in the world. And so it's kind of cool that you can see, oh, my friend is also playing this game and we're in the same place. Maybe I want to just jump into their game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, parties are limited to 4 for a group. And so, I mean, once you hit that limit, no one else can like kind of join in your party.
Yeah.
I think, the story missions that they have available in the beta were I mean, they were pretty basic.
Yeah,
and
I
they're
like
pretty similar.
Run and shoot dudes, kill like a big bad guy, and then leave.
And I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way Destiny works too. It's like it's literally just a dungeon of dudes. You're running through it, shooting people, collecting what loot you can,
I
and
would
then
say
there's
that-
like a boss at the end.
I would say that I really do like the level design of those levels, though.
Sure, I mean they were pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Like the second level, which was only available in the open beta, is set in like a subway construction area, and you go down in there, and evidently it was a dumping ground for like thousands of bodies.
It's pretty gross.
yeah, I mean it's
That's
pretty
fucked
cool.
up, Chris
Yeah.
Davis.
It's like holy shit! There's a whole other level of
And
to
It's
the city.
like that content again, like Destiny. I think it's kind of fun to like, oh, me and another guy are online. We'll load up, run a mission real quick, just try to get some XP. I don't think it's gonna be what keeps players around. Though.
No,
it's
I don't
not.
think so.
It's not a lot. It doesn't seem like there's a lot to. sink
Wait, are
your
you talking about
teeth
the
in.
Dark Zone or the non?
No, I'm talking about the single player. Stuff.
Single player,
Which
yeah.
you again you can do with other players. Like
Yeah.
you're just
You
not
can play
worried
like the
about-
entire game co-op.
Right. You can
Yeah.
do everything co-op. You're just not worried about PvP if you're outside of the dark zone.
Gotcha.
And there is an in-game scenario, but a lot of the longevity for this game, I think, is really going to come from how much they support it post-launch. Because they've promised they want to expand the map to all of New York.
And I think
And-
that would be an easy way to they're just like right now there's like a section that's like walled off or something like that.
Yeah.
And they can just
You can-
remove that wall.
You
and
can
then-
see on the world map how like they have your world map is the entire island of Manhattan, and the game world is like the middle like third of Manhattan walled
Yeah,
off.
it's Midtown.
The whole game is Midtown Manhattan.
It's
but
basically
you can
like
see where they
tourist-
could just add in like north and south Manhattan, like move out across the river.
Is Midtown Manhattan still like? Is that?
I mean,
It's pretty
Midtown
big.
Manhattan is basically tourist Manhattan. So you got the Empire State Building, you got Rockefeller Center, you have just
Times Square.
It's like
Times
it's
Square,
the
like
New
everything.
York, New York.
Yeah.
You know, like
But they're promising, like, one of the things they're working on is Central Park.
Oh, okay.
So
I think
that's
the
a
map
huge
stops
area.
just south of Central Park right now.
Yeah.
But so I think we've talked a lot about the game kind of dancing around the dark zone, and I think that's one of the things that is kind of the most important thing, and it is the PvP.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it was the three of us, and we kind of switched in some other people. Carlos was there for a while. Jaeger was there for a while. But yeah, and so it's up to four guys or girls, up to four people, exploring the dark zone. Fighting enemies. There's some tough enemies in there that will drop good loot. And the thing is, anytime you pick up loot, you have to extract it out of the dark zone. You can't just walk out of the
Yeah.
dark zone with it.
and you're a target.
And
Oh,
so-
see, that's the
time.
demo I played at PAX.
Yeah, and so whenever you pick up loot, it'll put a little pack on your back, so you can visually see when someone is carrying loot. You don't know what the loot is,
Right.
but you can see that they got loot on them.
They've got a little yellow satchel on their back.
Yeah, and so to get it out, you have to go to a certain area. There's like 3-4 of them, whatever, in the dark zone.
Calling a helicopter.
To call in a chopper to come pick it up. So when you call in the chopper, it takes a minute and a half. So you got to hang out for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And if anyone else is near there, they know they get a notification
it puts a thing
when
up
someone just called in a chopper.
See, I wish there wasn't a notification. Like, it was purely based on
Well-
if people are paying attention, they hear a helicopter.
Well, yeah, there is definitely a
You
an
can
audible
physically see the helicopter
noise.
as
well.
Like you can see it flying
You
around.
can be outside the dark zone and you see and watch a helicopter fly into
the
it
dark zone,
towards-
yeah.
Yeah, but it still
It's an
pops up a
actual
notification,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Because,
it's only
like,
if you're nearby. If you're like on the other side of the map, it doesn't tell you.
just think of Dying Light. When you hear that airplane coming by,
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
you're like, "Where is it? Where is it?" And you're looking around, and then you see it off in the distance, like, and you just start hauling ass towards it. There's no notification telling you that it's,
No.
it's
Wow,
there.
okay. So there's a notification. Who cares? My big point here is that when we played this at PAX,
Yeah.
that was not a good demo.
That was a
because
very bad demo.
It's not a good environment to introduce people
there's-
to the concept of the game because literally all they were doing was putting together fire teams, putting them in the dark zone and saying, okay, you've got loot, go to this extraction point. Other people might try to fuck with you, but there was literally no other...
There's no incentive.
There was
You had-
nothing else for us to do in that demo other than shoot other players that we saw. That was how they set it up, and that's not really how the game feels when you're playing it. Because when we were running around doing these extractions, we would run into a lot of other friendly players who like didn't want any bullshit from us. Like they had stuff they wanted to extract too. We were all just like in a tentative little, you guys stay over there,
like a
we'll
little
stay over
standoff,
here.
kind of like
Yeah, we'll wait for
everyone's
the helicopter
watching
to go
each
our way.
other.
And then
like-
there's definitely like that team that's running around fucking everybody up, like just being real dickholes. Like there's
which was us at one
more
point.
there's more of a social there's more social dynamics at play in the actual game once it's up and running in its full scale than there is in that little like vertical slice demo.
It's unfortunate, and I don't know. I think we were always in a party chat. So I don't know. Can you talk to people if you're not in a party chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's almost like a disadvantage that we couldn't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't communicate because we were in a PlayStation party chat. And the only problem is 9 times out of 9, the PlayStation's chat is far superior to in-game chat.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why we always do that. But it sucks because sometimes I would like to be able to communicate with them. Like, look, dude, I just want to get my pack on the chopper, and then we can go our separate ways.
Yep.
And there was
That's
definitely
cool.
definitely
Everyone,
times when people would come up and they would just wait for us to put theirs on. If there was an extra room, they'd be like, oh, okay, and they'd put theirs on.
Yeah.
But then there were other times when firefights broke out. I mean, there was one time that we came across some random dude.
Carlos would shoot anybody.
Yeah, Carlos would shoot people sometimes.
Carlos got okay. My favorite part of the beta. I want to tell this story. Carlos started shooting people and got us turn rogue.
So if you shoot a friendly person, you turn rogue, which means everyone knows that you
You're
are
a player
not
killer.
cool.
There's a bounty in your head, basically.
Yes.
Well,
But the thing is,
if you kill enough people, they put like a big bounty on your head and send a hunt
a
after
manhunt.
It's called a man.
Yeah.
But if you're in a party and one person shoots someone, that entire party
It'll
becomes
flag
rogue.
everybody. So
Fucking
Carlos.
Carlos.
So Carlos got us all flagged as rogue, and we're kind of like, okay, well, fuck it. I guess we're already here. We just started shooting everybody, and this was all his fault. And earlier,
Just so we're clear.
earlier in the day, he had like when we met up with him, he was fucking around a little bit. Like he would drop out of the party and like shoot one of us and just be like, aha, that's funny. Yeah, I dicked you over. But there wasn't any real consequences for that happening. But now we're all running around rogue. We're killing everyone we run into. We've killed enough people that we've gotten a bounty on our head. That we've gotten like people chasing us to kill us. They've already I die. They killed me. I respawn. I met up with the group again. We went down into the subway and I was like, you know what? Fuck Carlos. And these guys were kind of collateral damage of this whole thing, but just to get back at Carlos, who, by the way, the hunt is a timed event. If you survive the timer, like if you have a hunt on you, a manhunt, and you survive the timer, you get a huge reward for doing that. So there is kind of an
Essentially a
incentive
lot
to
of
go for it.
experience.
Yeah. So I already died. I lost my chance of the reward. These guys are about 30 seconds away from getting theirs. So I pop out of the party and I throw a grenade right at them. And I start like running. I chased Carlos across the entire dark zone. Like from one end of the dark zone to the other. Chased him into an alley and killed him.
Beautiful.
And he lost his bonus. And I felt so fucking happy about that. And it's moments like that that make me want to buy this game.
So here's my question. We need to wrap our conversation up just quickly here, but are y'all buying the game?
I probably
Because I feel like if I don't buy it at launch, I'm gonna miss my opportunity to get the most out of this game.
if enough
But if enough people that I would be wanting to play with are going to play it at launch, maybe I would consider buying it.
This isn't like Destiny, this isn't really World of Warcraft. You can kind of jump in later on. In fact, if you're on the fence about it, I would say maybe wait, because these kind of games do go through a lot of rebalancing early on.
But
Yeah.
like I would prefer obviously play with you guys.
yeah, sure.
I would rather play it when you guys are playing it.
Yeah.
So if y'all
Makes
are gonna
sense.
wait, I'm fine waiting.
I don't
But
know if I'm
this
gonna
guy's
get it.
not gonna
I don't
wait.
know if I'm gonna get it or not yet. It really depends. I mean, I did have fun, but it was also to an extent almost stressful because I would get shit and sometimes the loot's useless, and I don't know. It just seems like a big, like Krispy was saying, it seems like most of the time you're just kind of running around and trying to get better loot. And so I don't know. There was like Krispy was kind of describing a few good moments. I mean, we had one where me and Krispy were hanging out. I think Chris Davis was like at the shop or something. And some random guy came up, and I was like, whoa, he's cool. And then like him and Krispy were kind of dancing around each other, and I guess the guy didn't see me.
Oh, that was a good one.
The guy didn't see me, and
I put my hands up and I was like, "Hey, I'm cool." And he was kind of like, he was a little skittish, like he was getting in my face, and then he looked around and thought I was alone. He didn't see Nolan.
I was crouched behind a car.
So
And-
there's not like an indicator and thing
No.
above your head?
No,
Oh,
he just didn't.
that's
he
cool.
just
So,
didn't see
yeah,
it.
and so you can, like Krispy was saying, you can do jumping jacks, you can clap, you can kind of do little things. And so Krispy like put his hands up, like,
yeah, I
"Hey,
did,
I'm
like, a
cool, man,
surrender.
I'm cool." And the guy shot Krispy. So I immediately had a shotgun and I just pumped like 5 rounds into the guy's back.
Yeah.
And he died.
It was
And-
like it was a nice little trap that we.
yeah,
set
like
on
it
him.
was a trap that the guy kind of just got himself into by being a dick.
Yeah.
See, all that sounds really
That's the
fucking
cool
cool.
stuff.
And that
It
is honestly the best part about the game is just kind of like, but the problem is you'll come across people who are just like ridiculous and they're already super high level and it's kind of like almost like, oh, I don't even want to deal with those people because they have way better weapons.
Yeah.
See,
And-
here's
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to be Game of the Year. I
Yeah.
think, like Destiny, in certain situations, this game will be really fun. If you are the kind of person who likes playing RPG games, if you're the kind of person who has a group of people who will play this with them, I think it'll be a good time waster.
See, it sounds to me like this could have some of the best moments of the year.
I think
Potential,
there-
yeah.
it has potential to create a lot of really cool, like kind of emergent moments, like we love so much in these games, like in Rust and Daisy and shit
Yeah.
like that. I don't know, like I'm not. It's really hard. Again, I like this game because I kind of like things like Destiny. It's really hard for me to say that this is going to be like a very universally like loved title. You
Yeah.
know? It just really kind of depends on your habits as a player, I think. You know?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And who knows? I'll probably just wait till you guys decide you want to play it, and then I'll play it. Although I will say this, well, scratch that. Never mind. I will play it when you guys decide to play it.
Cool.
God damn it.
What are you doing, Brad? He's posting pictures of Donald Trump all over the fucking monitor every couple minutes.
Oh my god.
Very funny.
Just making me want to shoot myself in the face. Anyways, Chris Davis, thank you for being on.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And let's get Brad back here so we can do the news and shit. And God, I might play The Division.
I think
Chris
you would have
Davis.
fun if you played with us.
I'm sure I would. Thank you, sir.
I think Brad just went to go take a poop.
Yep. He
you
was like,
kidding?
"Wait, I heard they need me. I'm gonna go poop."
Are you kidding me?
It's
Oh,
fine.
didn't
You
hear
can.
him
You
slam
can.
the
Chris,
bathroom
We
door.
can do the news.
yeah, we'll just do the news without Brad. I don't think he
Hear
has a
him
news topic.
fear lower the toilet seat, and rip his pants off. You can hear him farting right now.
Yep.
All right. So what
You fucking asshole. So in the news, I'll just start us off because why not? Fuck Brad. And so this Saturday or this Friday, starting
Yes.
this Friday, is a open Uncharted 4 multiplayer weekend.
You mean that game that got delayed 2 weeks?
Yes, that's also in the news. That Uncharted got delayed from April 24th to May 10th, I believe.
Just-
So yeah, the 2-week delay.
We're still gonna be playing Dark Souls
Which
3.
which sucks, but then I trust Naughty Dog to kind of. They're doing it for a reason.
That was another newsworthy
Wait.
story. Did you read that like the script for Uncharted 4 changed 100% pretty much after the
Really?
new directors came on board?
Really?
Yeah. So remember there was the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the script like was completely rewritten.
Well, I hope
I
that was
wonder
for
if
the
it had
better.
anything
The
to do
quote-
with Drake dead, Drake alive. Drake alive means more money in the future.
It is definitely possible.
But yeah, so because there is an open beta or an open stress test, I think that's what they're calling it this weekend. The fact that you don't even have to have PlayStation Plus, like it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
which is really cool.
I'm gonna miss it.
We're gonna have a multiplayer night with Uncharted 4. And just kind
Sweet.
of
On Saturday?
On Saturday, yeah.
We'll add that. Is it already on the calendar?
I think it might be. I'll double check though.
If-
and
if-
if it's not, I'll get
by
it.
the time
on
you
there.
Damn,
look-
I didn't get in here fast enough before the news because I was totally going to be like, hey, did y'all play the Destiny beta? That seems promising. I wonder what else is in that game.
You missed a good conversation. They kind of convinced me to play The Division.
Just be careful.
Well, of course, Brad. Of course I'm going to be careful.
We didn't forget about Destiny, Brad.
Dude, the only reason I'm hesitant about
play that
the
Uncharted?
the only reason I'm hesitant
Yes.
about the Division at all is because I remember how much I loved the Destiny beta and then how much I was really completely burned by the actual product
hey,
when it
you
came out.
like MMOs, though. Can I do my awesome news topic?
I guess, Brad.
This is the funniest shit. Have y'all tell me y'all seen this
I haven't.
video.
I had no idea what you were
Tell
talking
me
about.
y'all seen
I
this
haven't.
fucking video.
I haven't seen it.
What video?
Wait, are we gonna play it?
No, I guess we don't have the video. We should have had the video.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, I didn't expect all of you to not care about anything related to video games, but that's okay. Microsoft announced
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Young Conker for the HoloLens. Oh my god. Maybe Chris Davis can pull up a picture for at least you guys here in the room, so y'all can see.
I would be interested to see a picture. Why? Okay.
Oh my.
Other than the fact that
god.
than the fact that Microsoft can't seem to stomach putting out a proper Conker game,
I mean-
why is this? What's so bad about it? I mean, I'm sure it's terrible. I'm setting you up to. Oh my god!
Yeah,
He's like,
it's
heck.
pretty bad.
Oh heck. This is like, so you know how I get upset about
Everything.
about like say Lords of Shadows or something. It's like this is not Castlevania. What are you doing, man? You're dragging this series that I love through the mud. Imagine you really love Conker and it's been gone for a decade and a half or whatever like it's been, and all you want is more Conker. And Microsoft, the owners of Conker's Bad Fur Day, the IP, and Rare, I guess, first decides to do, we're going to do Conker DLC for this fucking Project Spark that no one cares about. And then they announce this, Young Conker. Why are they using this?
Why Conker?
Why? All you're doing is making poor kids cry. Kids who really liked Conker's Bad Fur Day because, like, maybe they were at this point in their life where, you know, like a video game character saying a swear word is like a big deal to them. I mean, Conker's Bad Fur Day is not a great video game, but it meant a lot to a certain subset of millennials. I mean, people that it. Why would Microsoft do this?
Yeah.
They're like, I have a better. Someone's like, let's make a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's like, you know what? I have a better idea. Let's drag him across broken glass instead.
This thing, so it's like a platformer where you're jumping around, but he's jumping on your furniture because it's fucking
But
HoloLens.
no, Brad, he can tell it's a couch, and so he bounces when he's on the couch. And if the room is too small, he'll start walking on the walls.
It could have been literally anything else. But using Conker
it could have been Young Banjo.
for this and making this like budget ass, like this fucking character makes like Tack and the Power of Juju look like Mario. This shit is, it's embarrassing.
It does. It's pretty.
The fact
bad.
that they call it Young Conker and he's like, oh heck.
When has anything preceded by the word young been good?
Young Frankenstein.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
other than Young
Dude,
Frankenstein.
Young Sherlock Holmes is a pretty good movie.
God damn you guys.
Young Indiana Jones.
What about Young Ace Ventura?
Young and Busty. Wait.
No, that wasn't called Young Ace Ventura. It was called Ace Ventura Jr.
Yeah.
Same
that's correct.
shit. Right?
It's just
Usually the idea of making
Young Justice.
Oh, why
Yeah.
didn't I think
Young
of
Justice was really good.
all right.
They're talking about bringing that back. Did
Y'all
you hear
are
that?
lame.
Dude, shut up. No, they're not.
So
I swear to God.
I'm not listening to you and your lies.
imagine in 10 years,
Won't be
Konami, who's still in the video game industry, decides to bring back Silent Hills
Young Silent
Young
Hills.
Silent Hills.
as a
Young Norman
As a
Reedus.
baby.
as a tech demo for Kinect.
It was a
Like,
baby game.
what do you just watch it? It's hilarious. It just go on the internet, check out.
You
the
don't
Geek
have
Out
to
thread,
convince me.
and watch the meltdowns. It's so great. It's so great. It's like comical. It's like they're purposely trying to hurt these people. Like this very tiny fan community. It's like they're trying to hurt them. Specifically, only them, because it's not like this appeals to anyone. It's not like a kid cares about Conker. Like a kid today probably doesn't know what Conker is. It probably shouldn't, because Conker, was a mature rated video game or whatever. Like what are they doing? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sounds like it. I have a news topic.
It looks so budget.
It's also bad news. No, it's bad. It's bad news. So,
It's bad.
Quantum Break, which is a game I'm very, very excited for, which apparently plays very well
It's coming
from
to
early
PC,
preview
right?
builds.
It is
Oh,
Microsoft
I didn't
Store
check
style.
any of the preview builds. What is the consensus?
Seems to be pretty positive. I'll be honest. I don't want to. That's not what I'm talking about right now, Brad. What I'm talking about right now is that just a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm very excited that they decided to take, because basically the big deal about this game is they're telling a story through a combination of in-game cutscenes and these live-action television shows that are actually acted and written and like an actual serial television show that plays out in different ways, branching paths depending on the decisions you make in the game. Which I was like, that's really cool. That was originally going to be part of that Xbox TV thing that they were doing, and they've now decided to roll it into one product, and it's all one singular thing now. Mm-hmm. But my original excitement for that was because they rolled it all onto a disc. Not the case.
Nope.
It is now the live action episodes of the show are going to be streamed.
Yep.
Strong.
No. Streamed.
That's the past tense of stream.
They're going to be streamed. So
I thought the past tense of streaming live action video in a game is shit.
it's not this content. What concerns me is that this is going from being a disc-based product to a half of a disc-based product, essentially. Like, you have to watch, like, these episodes are a crucial part of telling the story in this game. They're not on the disc. So if you don't have good internet, or if you live in a place that has really, really, really low caps on your internet, you are fucked.
Yep.
Like, you just can't play this game. I don't know how they're going to address that. I mean, this is kind of circling right back around to the whole controversy that started when Don Matrix said that completely ridiculous comment about, if you don't have good internet, you should play the Xbox 360. Like, that's...
It's kind of silly.
I feel like we're right back where we started.
Yeah.
And part of it was, they were talking, Remedy was talking about the decision to do this, and they were like, because of the way they filmed it, and they wanted it to be branching paths. They have so many different versions of what could happen. Like, when they compiled all of the video content, it was too much for one disc.
Yeah.
Why not just put it on a second disc? I mean, that ups production.
How could the video content be too much for one disc?
I mean,
is it like 4K resolution? Like, how the fuck?
It depends on how much they put. I don't know. I mean,
doesn't hold that much.
It holds 50 gigs.
They do hold.
But there's like a fucking show.
It's like a TV show.
How many hours is this show?
I mean, they hired real actors.
I guess
so. I hope there's enough.
And it's I don't know.
4 hours.
Wait, it's got to be more than
It's got to be
4
more.
hours.
Well, when you think,
well, I guess.
I mean, look at your
it's like only
average.
4 episodes.
Look at your average, Blu-ray for a TV show. You can only fit like 4 episodes on
That's
it.
true, and you got the game.
Yeah.
So who knows how big the game is running?
When are they going to make dual layer? Are Blu-rays already dual layer?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
When's someone going to invent a quadruple layer disc?
The point is, it just kind of like, I'm still very excited to play it. I'm happy that that apparently it plays really well. I'm excited to see how this plays out. I'm just really bummed that they decided. I mean, it all comes down to money, but at the same time, you're literally at this point sales of the game.
It almost seems like you might as well just go YouTube the video at this rate.
Yeah. So, who the fuck knows where that's gonna go? But we'll see. Maybe there'll be. I haven't really had a time to get a consensus for how the rest of the industry feels about this yet. So maybe if there's a big enough backlash, they'll change their mind on this. But it's probably way too late for that, especially prior to launch.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
It is a bummer.
Not a young Conker level bummer.
No,
I'd probably bet my life that there's
Jesus
not a
Christ.
single Conker fan that's stoked about young Conker on the planet. Not a single
It's a big bet.
Conker's Bad Fur Day fan who played it back then who was stoked about young Conker. Kill me now. Strike me down.
I don't know why Prince of the Universe thinks he's the only one who's gonna like Quantum Break. Who said you're the only one who likes Alan Wake? That's kind of a weird thing to say. Anyway, sorry. Who else here has a news topic?
I think we're done.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Great.
I
'cause
have
we
a news topic. The internet is stupid. The guy who used to be the showrunner for Young Justice was like, yeah, I'll do another season. And now all of a sudden everyone thinks season 3 is happening. Go fuck yourselves, guys.
All right.
Don't get my hopes up like that.
Crispy, did you want to do this now?
It's just hopes and
No,
dreams.
I forgot to pick cards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
okay.
and do what you
All
do.
right.
Don't we have to start
Anything.
a certain segment before anything else can happen?
Yes. So that's
Community.
community.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
everyone's
time.
favorite part of the show. It's the best part because it's all about you. our community.
Exactly.
And how awesome you are. So, since our last podcast, we've gotten 2 new patrons.
2 new patrons.
2 of them. So, one is Vincent.
Thank you, Vincent.
Good job. And the other is Fuzzy Dude.
What? What?
Alan Wake fans, there's dozens of them.
Dozens. Yes, and the other one is Fuzzy Dude.
Fuzzy dude.
Fuzzy dude.
Yeah, fuzzy dude.
We do. And so, also in other news, it's March 1st.
It is.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
1st of March.
Yeah, it's my stepmom's birthday.
We got a
Happy
whole-
birthday, Nolan's stepmom.
We got a whole extra day this year. That's pretty cool, right?
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't.
But it is how it works.
Yeah.
It's an extra day.
Kind of.
366.
I realize, but I mean,
Days.
like,
We all are a day. We'll live a day longer now.
That's not how it works
Okay.
at all.
my dad's birthday
We
is
don't
on
age at
February
all.
29th.
See, that sucks. So your dad's like what, 4 years old? I'm just kidding.
No.
I know it's every 4
He's-
years, right?
Yeah, he's like math?
It's like 10.
He's like 15 or 16 or something like that. Whatever. I don't know.
The other new patron, Fuzzy Dude.
Fuzzy
you
Dude.
are the other. You're the other one.
And so anyway, being March 1st, it's a new month, so we have a new supporter of the month.
Yes, we do.
Yay!
Nice.
Who has not yet responded yet? right?
He responded in chat.
Oh, wonderful.
His chat name is not Ryan, like his patron name is. His chat name is Prince of the Universe.
Oh, that's Prince of the Universe?
I believe, right? Chris Davis, right? Right? Prince?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Chris? Prince? Prince? Fresh Prince?
Oh, man.
Prince of the
Wait
Universe.
for him? Wait for him, why?
All right.
To respond.
What?
Better than King of the Cosmos.
There's a chat. No, I'm not, I'm asking you, Chris Davis. Was that who said it earlier? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
thank you. Yes, I don't care about him. Prince of the Universe.
Thank you for being our supporter of the month.
Prince
Is
of my
our supporter.
butthole.
Oh, apparently Prince did email me in between our last segment.
We got. Are we gonna take another break? We
What?
can't. We can't
No,
look at this now.
We're not
can
going to
we?
take another break.
Not right this second.
No, yeah, I was just saying that he is our new supporter of the month. I mean, I can look at it. I have his games right here.
I guess we can look at the 3, but I guess.
He wrote out he wrote out information about each of his games and YouTube videos. Wow, that's what took him so
What?
long.
Man.
What are the 3? And we'll decide later.
So his number 1 is Aviary Attorney. He
that just came out.
Think Phoenix Wright, but with people and animal heads.
Yeah.
People with animal heads.
That just came out.
What?
Freedom Planet.
That's that Sonic clone.
Yeah. And
clone, but-
Matilda Castle.
The
What?
fuck is that?
He says, think Ghost and Goblins, but okay, really, it's just Ghost and Goblins tribute, but the game is designed very well and it's free.
Oh my god.
So those are the 3 games. We'll decide.
it's gonna
Not
be
at this second.
It's gonna be a weird month.
We'll decide which one we're gonna play this month. Tomorrow we have a meeting tomorrow, so we'll just decide then.
Yes.
Um,
we'll let you know.
yeah. So also, it's time for questions.
Yes, we have a lot of good questions this week.
Do we?
My phone was blowing up last. I mean, I assume we have a lot of questions. My phone was blowing up last night. I was trying to make dinner. I was like, oh, all these people commenting.
Do you get an email every time there's a comment?
I get a push notification every
I
time.
would turn that off.
Good thing you're not me, Nolan.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not, thankfully, God. And so, hold on. I'm pulling up the list of questions right now. It's being frustrating. Where the fuck is it?
I'm gonna have to do it
Yeah, do you have it like immediately?
immediately.
Because usually it's it's because I'm not logged in. Lols.
It's the community.
No, it doesn't show you the post if you're not logged in. So
Uh-oh.
give me 10 seconds, or if you want to read the first.
Wait
question.
a minute.
I gotta.
Bird lawyers, Sonic clone. Okay. I think Prince of the Universe might be a furry, but that is cool.
What's
We're cool
wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Are
Anyways,
only furries into Sonic? Are people into Sonic?
Only furries are into. It's like the Venn diagram of Sonic
Oh, I
fans
got it,
and
Nick.
furries are a circle.
oh god.
I didn't realize that the.
Oh my
One
god.
I didn't realize that that we had made posts since I made this one. But anyway, so the first question this week is actually from our supporter of the month.
Is it? Are y'all as psyched about Zootopia as I am?
Dude, that's getting really good reviews.
Yeah.
Some people are saying instant Disney classic.
the furry community's like they're just
No, I
dying
realize. I
over
realize.
this movie.
So anyway, so Ryan Does Art asks, assuming we're only talking about RPGs/JRPGs, do you prefer the main character be a blank slate avatar for the layer
JRPG specifically?
He said RPGs or JRPGs. Or would you rather have them already defined as a person?
I prefer defined characters.
So that's a good
Depends.
question, and I think it depends on the game. I think there are certain scenarios where it works really well when they're defined, when they actually have a plot and you're kind of following through with them.
Like The Witcher?
Sure, like The Witcher. And then I think there are other times when you have a character like Titus, and he's a fucking idiot,
Titus.
and you're like, I really wish this guy would shut up. No. And so there's definitely games like, think of something like Xenoblade is a recent one.
I'll be honest.
Where your main character...
I don't like... I feel like if... typically I feel like with Japanese RPGs, I want them to be defined characters.
Yeah.
And with Western RPGs, where there's a lot more customization, you can kind of create your own character, I kind of prefer the blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
But there are
honest.
the exceptions, like with The Witcher, or...
I'm in a weird boat here, but I really hate making characters.
It can be
I hate
stressful.
it.
It can be stressful. Sometimes you're like,
It's not even that I hate the act of doing it. It's just when I boot up a game, I want to play the game, and I feel the need to sit there for like a long time until I make this character because I'm going to be spending so many hours with them, and I don't enjoy doing it at the cost of not actually being in the game playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you're just talking about character creators.
Yeah.
For me, it just depends on the type of game. If it's a very story-heavy game, I don't want like a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
I think that
Well,
never works.
that's what I was bringing up. I was bringing up Xenoblade as a bad example because I really don't like how they handle that character. Where in the middle of a cutscene, it'll be like, "What do you think?" and it turns to your silent character, and you have two options or some shit.
Well, there's like a big twist in the game too, where like the main character would probably be wanting to ask a lot of questions and shit, and probably be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
But it's a silent protagonist, and it's mostly just...
Yeah, just like weird faces. It's not handled well at all.
I mean,
For
like-
people listening to the audio podcast, Brad's making weird faces.
Yes. I mean, the ability to like kind of split the difference and have like a character that doesn't really have a defined personality but still has like different reactions and can gain a defined personality, a la like Shepard in Mass Effect, is really well done. And then you have games like Dark Souls where it doesn't really matter and it's kind of...
I managed to make my Bloodborne character fairly quickly, and I ended up really liking the way he looked, but I think that was kind of... I just lucked into it.
All right, next question. From Mr. Green to us.
Mr. Green Toss.
Toss the salad. If you were given a role in a film, small or big, what genre would you want to debut in, and what would the role be? I would want to be Best Boy Grip.
It's not a role, that's a...
That's
a job.
No, but
Not a
that's always-
behind-the-scenes
I've always
role.
He didn't specify. He said small or big.
I choose...
I would want to be Best Boy Grip
What
in a
genre?
Western.
Is that just because you want to be called the best boy?
No.
I want to be the best boy grip.
Dude,
in a porno?
I want to be the best girl grip in a porno.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
I was going porno, but you had to make it fucked up, Nolan.
No, when I was starting from like my fucking freshman year of high school, I would always watch the credits, and I didn't know what Best Boy Grip was at first, and so I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And because I clearly talked like that when I was in high school, and then from then on, every time I watch a movie, I always look out for who the Best Boy Grip is.
Dude, you...
What?
I've done actual grip work. It sucks.
It's a fucking joke, Krispy.
No,
I don't
it's not
actually
funny.
want to be
It's
a Best
not
Boy
funny.
Grip. I don't want to be that role. Yes, I know what that role is.
You know why they call him Best Boy, though?
I don't know why they call him Best Boy.
Yeah, because back in the 30s, they used to, like, when they were looking for somebody to run the grip department, they literally would say, "Send your best boy over." That's literally how it starts. That's how everything in film gets its name.
Yeah.
Is someone in the 30s said it once, and they just stuck with it.
There you go.
Have you watched Hail Caesar yet?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
You know what
Dude,
a
it's
fucking
good.
best boy is. You should probably watch it. It is good.
It's a fucking good movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
am
good.
really glad I ended up watching it.
Well, then look at this.
I don't
loser
think I
over
have an
there.
answer for this question. I can't...
I think Nick would want to play the role of a action hero who has forgotten his memory, but he's really good at fighting.
I see where you're going with this.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
James
Recall.
Bond.
Oh.
Right?
I was gonna say Total Recall.
Oh.
I'm still going porno. Maybe just the guy who like.
I'm sure Brad wants to be the guy that oils down the girl's boobies in between
Does
cuts.
that exist?
Is that a job?
I'm pretty sure
Do
there's
people
a
get
guy-
paid for that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that exists, right?
Something tells me it's not as glamorous as it sounds.
Probably not. All right. Anyway, next question from Vincent, one of our new patrons.
Thank you.
Where would you define the differences of being streamlined and dumbed down? Earlier, Brad had talked about the new Hitman is streamlined and discussed the issues of this. However, it almost sounded to me like everything had been dumbed down. Is there a fine line between them, or is it more of a matter of perspective towards the game?
Well, look, in the example that I gave of Hitman, the reason I don't think it's necessarily... the reason I would say streamlined, which leads to problems, as opposed to dumbed down, is because I don't think they're, like, removing things. I think they're like... speeding them up,
making them more obvious, and
and how that is having kind of a negative effect on, like, I think the difficulty and the,
I think the distinction. I think the
of-
distinction is fine, and the distinction comes at basically you can streamline something without doing it at the expense of what makes the game great and appealing in the first place. You can streamline a game without seeming to question the abilities of the player, or you know what I'm saying?
I think they mean the same thing but have different connotations.
True.
Or
That's probably true.
Like dumbed down is obviously always negative. Streamlined is that, but in a positive way.
So
It's like dumbed down on a resume.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, it's how you address the action of simplifying or making a process easier. Yes, there are two ways you can do it. You can streamline it, which doesn't take away from it. It doesn't take away, like, usually that you would use that kind of reference in sequels. Like they had this, it's almost like in Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2, they dumbed down the RPG elements. They did not streamline them. They dumbed them down. They just, instead of fixing broke systems, they removed them. Like, streamline is the act of, making something more efficient, perfecting it and stuff like that. Well, it might be less complicated, but...
Here's an example. I remember you talking about Hitman, the beta, and talking about how it was really, like, you could drag bodies around really easy, and, like, everything would move so quickly that it didn't feel tense anymore. And I feel like that's dumbing it down, because I feel like you could streamline that same process by making it easier. So, like, if you dragged the body across the floor up to, like, a locker or something, and you were gonna hide it, like, a lot of times you would hold down this button until a thing fills up, and that would put them in the locker. But what if it was, like, contextual? So when your back got up to the locker, all of a sudden you would put the body in the locker for you, which kind of removed that button press out of the player. That's streamlining it, but at the same time that tension is still there, because you're still dragging the body slowly across the floor. You're still having to worry about whether someone's going to see you in the act of doing that kind of thing. But you're removing an element that is otherwise kind of just annoying.
I didn't comment on that earlier, but I did want to say that I think it's almost more realistic. I mean, I've dragged bodies before.
Whoa.
Don't give us any context for that. Just keep going.
And so I think Hitman and Blood Money moves way too fucking slow.
I mean, sure, but it's
I
still
realize
led
it's a
to
gameplay
a game
mechanic,
loop
and yeah,
that was satisfying. It's
I
like,
understand why it was there,
like,
but I mean,
Resident Evil Classic controls isn't realistic.
Yeah.
It's not hard to juke a zombie probably that's moving that slow, but it made it tense.
yeah, I agree.
Right.
And
But I
balanced.
understand why they might have decided to speed it up.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? It ain't that easy to change clothes.
So yeah, I will admit that the changing of the clothes is still way too fast. It takes him like half a second. You should literally show him like unbuttoning his shirt.
Which is funny. It doesn't matter.
Like someone walks in, you're halfully putting your pants on.
It doesn't matter
This is
how
not what it looks
realistic-
like.
Imagine all the community mods.
That would be.
All right,
that would be
next
kinda
question. From Vincent. Goddamn, Vincent. Name a game that ended up being smaller budget title than you would like, and you would have liked to have seen it bigger. Examples like I Am Alive, Alan Wake, American Nightmare.
Damn, he said I Am Alive.
I'm Alive is a really
That
good
one popped in my head because it's PS Plus this month.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I just downloaded it. Yeah,
because that game could have been really freaking cool.
it could have
I
been.
mean, I thought it was already pretty cool. I put it in my top 10 that year, but that game, given a bigger budget, would have been awesome.
Bigger budget. Like a small game with a bigger kind of like blowing up into something bigger. You know,
I don't know. It's like the first thing that comes to my mind is just like a bunch of different indie games, but I mean, like I don't know if that's fair to like kind of just use that. I don't know if he's talking about like AAA like big games.
yeah, I mean, stuff that comes to my mind is something like, I feel like something like Shadow Complex or Guacamelee are really great games, but they're also only like 8 to 10 hours long.
Yeah.
And one of the things I often miss in Metroidvanias, a lot of these indie Metroidvanias, is they kind of miss the Vania part of that term, which is when Symphony of the Night went like full on RPG. Give me like deeper like loot systems and skill systems. Let me really like pick at like I see what you're
at
a
saying.
game and spend time with and get addicted to instead of having these like smaller experiences. I think that would be. I mean, that's what I want. I want to get addicted to a fucking Metroidvania again.
Just 2 years.
Near.
Speaking of, Brad,
wait,
you
which
have
one?
Nier, right?
The first Near.
Can I borrow,
You wish.
can I borrow that?
How about
Yeah.
That game was fantastic,
Wait.
but it could have done with a bigger budget.
how about the Order 1886? Maybe they could have afforded to actually, put a game in the game.
I don't think they
You
needed
know,
a bigger budget. I think
That's
they just needed
that's really low hanging
lot more
fruit for you, Krispy. I have
time in the oven.
I have higher expectations for
I'm
your brand of
halfway
humor.
serious on that. Like if they, I feel like they got undercut pretty hard, and that's
Probably.
why you get a 4-hour FMV with shooting sequences.
That recent Transformers game is a game that I think really could have been something special
Platinum one?
if it had a real
Oh,
budget,
yeah.
a real
That's true.
development time.
Basically, anything that Platinum does.
Well-
They don't get enough money, honestly.
Sure.
All right, next question from Vincent. He says,
What?
last one, I swear. It better be Vincent. Has there ever been a game series that you hated that got popular for whatever reason, whether it be things within the series changing or the popularity changing the focus of the studio? I hate Borderlands becoming so popular because now Gearbox will never make another Brothers in Arms, it seems.
Wait, was there another part to that question?
It was essentially, has there ever been a game or series that got really big?
That you
Yes.
didn't
That
like?
you don't like. You don't like the fact that it got big.
Infinity Blade.
I thought he meant like
Fuck you, Infinity Blade.
like something else fell off at the cost
No,
of
no,
this
no, no, no.
series.
Well, he was just mentioning like because the series has gotten so big, the company's going to keep making that game because they know they make money off of it, and they maybe like other IPs, fall to the wayside.
I got another one.
And yes, Infinity Blade is a very good answer.
Sengoku Basara got really popular in Japan, which is the series that the Onimusha guys went on to develop.
You know what?
And Capcom just said, fuck Onimusha. This one's making some money.
My answer to this one is not. It's kind of a cheat answer because it's not really a video game. But I'm going to go ahead and say I really, really resent the popularity of the Resident Evil movies because they are the reason that Resident Evil as a video game exists as it does today.
I don't believe.
I
I don't buy that.
I
at all.
absolutely believe that because, dude, look how ridiculous. Like, what was the last Resident Evil movie you even watched?
You understand that the last 4 of
The
those...
one where they were like in the desert or something.
Yeah,
at
that's
the
the last one I
beginning?
watched too because it was utterly ridiculous.
I don't know which one that
they
one is.
They don't make those for domestic audiences anymore. They
Yeah.
make those because they do really well.
It's a $1
overseas.
billion series.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about it failing American box office. 'cause
Exactly.
They don't make any money off of that.
That's why I'm saying I resent its popularity.
Well, what I'm saying is I think there's a bit of a fault in your logic there because it's not like I don't know.
We don't need to get into it. I want to say Assassin's
Somebody
Creed.
over there is to blame.
Assassin's Creed, mainly because it got so big so fast that they let's get one out a year, and kind of it just kind of fell to shit. It didn't affect other series. I think it just
It might
affected
have.
itself.
It might be why we don't have Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened to Prince of Persia?
Yeah.
There was a prototype of a new Prince of Persia a while back, but nothing ever came of it. I'm actually really eager to see what happens when Assassin's Creed takes a year off. What does an Assassin's Creed in a 2-year development cycle even look like?
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
I think, they're all 2-year development cycles.
Go fuck yourself.
They're all 2 years. They have multiple teams.
But yeah, I mean, now that's going to be essentially.
Yeah, I
3
would,
years.
Yeah,
Dude.
I would like more than that.
Persona. I don't get it.
What? That's a great series, though.
There's a difference between not getting it.
All right. We need to move on. It's getting late. Next question from Bernsey. Are you sports fans?
No.
More specifically, hockey. I can believe being Texans, you at least enjoy college football, but I'm curious on your thoughts on hockey, if any. A Canadian asking about hockey. How original.
That's the one with the ice but not the stones, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I went to a hockey game once. It was a lot of fun, predominantly because a brawl broke out on the ice, and they started playing Drowning Pool's Bodies and just let the fight just happen. And that was cool.
Drowning Pool.
They literally just played that song and just let them fight it out on the ice, and that was
hockey video games are usually pretty fun.
I've been to more than a handful of Tampa Bay Lightning games, and it's fun to see in person. But I never really understood what the fuck was going on. It's just it went in the goal. Now these
Rocket
guys are
League's kind of
fighting.
like hockey.
Yeah.
Kind of. But there's no like offsides or anything in Rocket League.
They should just make a puck mod.
They did.
Oh.
And we all know
They did a winter one that was hockey
Oh.
that had a puck.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
And we all know Nolan hates college football.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have season tickets last year, and I don't have them this year.
I used to really like baseball.
Dude, but you're like the only one in this room who actually could be considered a sports fan.
Well, that's because I fucking. Like I said, I had
Could be considered a
I
sports
had
fan.
season tickets last year. I have season tickets this year.
If you get season tickets next year,
Yeah,
that will be enough.
I'm
Okay.
not saying
Then we can call you a sports fan.
I'm not saying that your fan credibility is in question. I'm saying that there isn't even like a remote possibility that any one of the three of us could be considered a sports fan.
I mean, I will say that my fiance is way more of a sports fan than I am. But that's because her family grew up a big sports family. Like my family did not. Like my mom watches the Super Bowl every year, and that's the extent
me.
of.
I didn't even watch the Super Bowl this year.
Going back to his original or his actual question about hockey, when I lived in Houston, I did go to a few the Houston Arrows. Mm-hmm. There's an old hockey team. I don't even know if they're still around. Houston had a hockey team. I don't think they ever won anything. They had the Aerodome, not the Astrodome, the Aerodome.
The Aerodrome.
Was it Jerome?
Yeah, I used to go ice skating there all the time.
Oh, yeah. I definitely went more ice skating there than I did hockey games. I think I saw a couple. There's the hockey rink here in Austin. UT does have a team.
They shut down 2 years ago.
Oh, there you go. They shut down after like 20 years of failure. They're like, I think this is enough. Wait, is that exactly 20? Oh, 87. I thought it was later than that. I thought it was like 90s.
Anyways,
Wait. 94! 2 years. Look. Oh, almost 20 years.
19.
Yeah.
What are we,
Almost 20.
What was
Anyway,
the
so UT does have a hockey team, and I did go to a
we
few of
like
their
hockey?
games here in Austin. I do remember one of the players was like 4 foot something. He was so tiny. But he was really good. So yes, some of us are sports fans, and a couple of us have seen hockey.
fuck you, Moose Castle. I'm like a fucking...
Moose Knuckle. Anyway, moving on.
Penguin
Timothy
on
asks,
ice?
what are some of the most consistently thrilling moments in long-running series that you look forward to? Mine is easily the sound of pounding followed by the sweet, sweet cornered theme of Phoenix Wright. No matter which game in the series it is, that moment always raises goosebumps. And I definitely will agree with Chai on that. Like, when you figure out the solution in a Phoenix Wright court case and the music picks up and you're like, objection, and he starts explaining, and like those moments are
music
really
in that
good.
series is so good.
Oh yeah, the music is fantastic in those games. What's another?
man, I don't know what series is even that consistent.
It's not consistent or long run, but like Uncharted always has epic set pieces at some point in the game. Like climbing up a falling train, like the boat thing from 3, like always has these big events, and I really, as scripted as they are, I'm always impressed by them. How they handle, the plane from 3. Like I'm always impressed by how they handle those sequences.
Yeah.
I got one for Nick. The point in an Assassin's Creed game when you finally get your goddamn hood.
I was going to say
that
Assassin's
right?
Creed. I was going to say the part in Assassin's Creed where you have to tail
It's
someone.
in every Assassin's Creed game.
Where you have to tail someone in Assassin's Creed and you have to stay so far away, but not too close, but not too far. Yeah, that part.
Why are y'all looking at me? Fuck you guys.
I mean that is a moment that is consistently in that series, right?
Not really.
Not really. I can't.
Oh.
There's not like not every game has like
Yeah.
a big turnaround shot where he's like flipping his hood up for the first time and he's like, damn,
You
it's
never
about
start with
time.
You actually do in the most recent one.
Yeah.
And
Do what?
What is the subtitle? I'm sorry.
Syndicate?
Syndicate.
Wait,
you start as an assassin in Syndicate.
Well, whatever. I was making a joke.
Well, it's a bad joke, and you should feel bad.
Bet.
I don't have an answer. But it's when you meet Goofy in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Fuck you.
Stop making pot shots at
you.
Kingdom Hearts.
I love Goofy, dude. Donald sucked ass, but Goofy
Yeah,
was
Donald's
boss.
a piece of shit. Donald is a piece of
I
shit.
need to get back to playing that again.
I started playing it.
I know, I saw that, and I'm like,
All right.
Too many things.
Oh my god, that's. Do I want to answer more? I'm gonna skip 2, and I'm gonna say ask them again next week.
okay.
And I'm gonna do live at the Milky Way's question. You are at a dinner table with 3 other video game characters and given plenty of time to converse
3 other?
and reminisce. Who would you want to be there? Might there be any interesting moments as they interact with each other?
Oh God, I can't.
Wait, who's meeting up?
You are at a dinner table with 3 video game characters.
Okay. Taki
Is this a
from Soul
nice?
Calibur.
Is this a nice dinner?
Whatever you want it to be.
Taki from Soul Calibur. Ivy from Soul Calibur.
And
And
these are all going to be ladies.
Some other movie related?
Can I say Bayonetta, Catherine, and Pikachu?
Which Catherine? C or K?
Pikachu.
The good Catherine.
C.
Yeah, C.
Hey, wait. What do you mean the good Catherine? What is that supposed
The
to
good
be?
looking cat. Oh,
They're both good looking.
The boobies Catherine.
Okay,
They
how
both
about,
have boobies.
how about Gordon Freeman, Shell, and
Wheatley.
Master Chief? Or no, not Master Chief. I don't know, the Doom guy.
The Doom guy. Can I say
There would be some interesting conversations at least.
can I say I want to be there with Trevor.
Oh,
Oh no,
Trevor, John
Joker.
Marston, and Waka. So then we can murder him.
fucking Walker.
Waka from Kingdom Hearts.
I'm
be
trying to think of
specific.
like the trashiest 3 people I could bring to a really fancy dinner, and one of them would be Trevor. Other one would probably be Jack from Mass Effect 2.
Oh yeah, Jack would be.
Who else?
But not the Mass Effect 3 version.
No, not that one.
You like the completely bald version of her.
Oh, I forgot she's in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah. The worst game in the series.
I don't remember much about Mass Effect 3,
Yeah, that's
honestly.
okay. That's okay.
All right. Anybody
yeah.
else want to say any?
Nah.
Nina Williams from Tekken. Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Yeah, Chun-Li. Yeah, there
She
you
can sit
go.
on my face. What are we talking about?
We are talking about thanks all the patrons for
my
asking
God.
their questions.
Dinner?
Any patron can just go to our Patreon feed every week. We post a thread. Go in there, ask your question. If we don't get to it, feel free to ask it again next week. It's not that we skipped it because we didn't like it. Sometimes time.
We do need extra time. But thank you. We appreciate all of your questions. We look forward to answering more questions next week.
And there's one more mention in the community. I did mention it earlier, but we are doing an Uncharted 4 multiplayer beta event this weekend, Saturday evening. Join us. It's free to everyone.
And please, I can't stress this enough. People need to take advantage of the calendar more often.
Yeah.
4playernetwork.com/calendar. It has all of our... We update that shit immediately if things change, so you will always see what is the most accurate upcoming schedule.
I updated Saturday's event while I was on the podcast.
Yep. So please check it out. It's a great tool if you're trying to figure out when we're broadcasting. That is where you need to go. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Krispy, how would you like to do this? We're gonna try something this week.
I just thought it would be fun if we played a couple rounds of Geek Out. I mean, just so you guys can get a better handle on the game without me completely ruining it for
God.
you. But I went through and I picked out
I
a
can
bunch
still
of
ruin it, though.
huh?
I can still ruin it, though.
Yeah, you probably could. But we'll see.
If
I just thought if it was fun, maybe this is a thing we could do at the end of each show, do 1 or 2 rounds.
Would you say you're the creator of this segment?
I'm as much the
Just
creator
go.
of Geek Out as J.J. Abrams is the creator of Star Trek. Okay, so we'll do some video game ones real quick. And again, I am going to be the commissioner, the Geek Out commissioner. I will make final call on rulings, but I'm not going to actively participate. This is between you guys, okay?
Go.
Calm down.
Killer.
Alrighty. Who wants to go first?
I'll go
Nick?
first.
This is good, Nick one. How about Nick?
All right. Oh God.
Nick, give me 2 video games in which a dinosaur appears. You think you can do 2?
Well, yeah. Of course I can.
We'll move on to Nolan.
2.
I can do 4.
I pass.
Pass on the first round. What a fun guy over
What
here.
counts as a dinosaur? I'm just kidding. Oh God.
Think you can do 5?
Nick,
No.
if you can't do 5,
No. I'm
So
not.
you pass. So
I'm
Nolan
passing.
with his
I'm
4.
passing.
Go ahead.
All right.
passing.
Telltale's Jurassic Park.
Okay, yeah. there
Well
you go.
done.
Ark Survival.
no.
What? I mean, no.
What do you mean?
No, I said yeah.
Oh. What?
No. I meant yeah.
Wait, what is the game called?
Ark.
Ark.
It's got a subtitle.
Survival.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There you
We
go.
know what he's talking about.
Resident
count.
Evil 6.
Oh my God, it's true. Why didn't I think of that?
Dino Crisis.
And Dino Crisis.
Or Turok. Or Spyro. Well, Spyro's not a...
Spyro is
Spyro's
not a dinosaur.
definitely
He's definitely a dragon, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a dragon.
All right, well, there you go.
Okay. How about Nolan? Since you won that one, you can
All
start
right.
us off with this one. 2 video games in which you play a robot character.
Oh.
I'll do 3.
Brad?
I can do. I don't like this game.
I'm the.
You play as a robot?
Yeah.
Or spoilers?
You
Was
play
it
as a robot.
spoilers? We say spoilers?
How old is the game that you're thinking of?
Not very old.
Okay.
I would say no.
We'll say skip it then.
Is the one
Yeah.
you're thinking of not even out yet?
No, it is. I know which one he's thinking of.
What do I have? How many do I have to do?
3?
I did 3.
Or you have to do 4.
You have to do at least
4 games where you play as a robot character.
Right.
Yeah, I could do 4.
Nick? Think you got 5 in you?
Fuck. Sure. I could do 5.
Okay. Nolan? The current bid is 5.
I'm a pass.
Current bid is 5, Brad.
He's doing 4?
He's doing 5.
So you would have to do 6.
So you'd have to do 6.
Holy fuck. Why did I do this?
They have to be in different franchises?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't be
Yeah,
the
can't
same
do
franchise.
series. Cannot do series.
Is that got to be the main character?
It has to be a character that you play. That you as the player control. Like you play as this character. And we're not counting like RTSs where you control like armies of robots and shit like that.
I could do 5.
So
6?
6.
I could do 6.
6
Pass.
player characters.
Pass.
Okay.
6.
RPGs count, right?
Of course.
Is
They
it
are
a
video
video game?
games.
Robo from Chrono Trigger, Cosmos from Xenosaga.
Yep.
Cosmos has appeared in other ones. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do Glitch from Metal Arms Glitch in the System.
There you go. There you go.
It's a really good game. How many do you have to do?
6.
You're at 3.
I'm at 3. I can't. Can I do the one that came out last year? That
No.
I mean, it's a spoiler, but
It is a
Nolan-
spoiler.
Here, I'm gonna tell Nick, and he's gonna give me the thing.
What? What?
I don't want to say it.
You didn't even say anything.
They're gonna hear. I'm gonna.
Fine, I'll
mute
mute it.
Oh my
I'll
God.
mute it. Oh, who was
Wait,
it?
you don't want to know.
What
That,
game?
it counts. It counts.
It's count. It definitely
We'll
counts.
talk about it after the
Okay,
show.
okay, okay.
It definitely counts.
All right, so 2 more games where you play
Yes.
as a robot character. Just
Yes.
the games.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, just the name of the game.
Saga Frontier.
Okay.
You'll have to trust me. And the last one, I'm going to go with, the Mercury Steam Classic. What is that name? Scrapland.
Scrapland?
Yeah.
Has anyone else
Yeah,
ever
I
heard of
mean,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I know.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I was one of the ones I was thinking was Chibi Robo.
Chibi Robo? That
I was
would've
also
been a
going to
good
throw
one.
out. I was going to throw out Detroit.
That would have been...
There's
Okay.
plenty.
Yeah.
All right. One more? You guys want to try one more?
One more round.
One more.
One more. Okay, how about this one? We'll start with Nolan this time. Or we'll start with Brad this time since he hasn't got one yet. Brad, give me 2 video games in which you fight with a bow and arrow.
Oh my God, I pass. Every video game. I can name 2.
You can name 2.
I can name 4.
Nick's up to 4. Current bid's 4, Nolan.
5.
Current bid is 5, Brad.
I mean, I can do 6.
6.
Someone's got to pass eventually.
Yeah, eventually. That's the whole game. You got to do 7 if you want to stay in it.
I'll pass.
All right, Nick's gonna
7.
pass. You can do 7.
7.
Brad?
I don't want to play this game. Go ahead, Nolan.
Okay.
This is not hard.
I could have done 7, but let's be honest.
Zelda.
Okay.
Tomb Raider.
Yep.
The reboot.
2012.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Far Cry.
With the first Far Cry?
No. Well, I mean, we'll say 3.
Okay.
In 3, you use a bow and
Anything
arrow.
post 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty...
To specify, does the main character have to be the one using the bow and arrow?
The question says in which you fight with a bow and arrow.
Okay.
So you as the player.
You can
control
say
a character.
Final Fantasy 12. You can use a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Uh,
the MMO?
no,
or,
12.
12.
Yeah,
I keep
12.
11 and 12.
Yeah. How many did I say I was going to do?
7.
7.
Okay. All right. 3 more. Dragon's Dogma.
Yep.
Skyrim.
Yep.
Okay.
You can't say Oblivion.
I wasn't going to. One more.
It's
Monster Hunter.
It's every video game.
Monster
Yeah, Monster Hunter.
I was surprised you didn't say The Last of Us.
Or every video game.
Pretty much every video game.
Crisis 3. Which
I
is
could do
pretty
one.
much...
Diablo 2.
I said Tomb Raider.
Pretty much
Doof
robot...
Magoof.
Pretty
You
much...
can't do cereals, Chris
I
Davis.
could do one more that's a little more specialized.
No,
No,
we've done
we're
3.
running low on time, but I like. But this is fun. Maybe we'll do this periodically on
You
the
don't wanna run
show.
them out. Oh.
But we'll return to this next week. See how it goes. We'll see how if you guys like that segment, if you think it's fun, why don't you post a comment on 4playernetwork.com when I post the show? That would be great. I'd love to hear those comments.
Post a comment on our blog zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Blogs,
Anyways, we're gonna wrap up now with
Web
the
zone.
4-player minute. We're gonna say our hype, our sweat, our fuck you, and our thank you of the week. Brad's gonna start us off. Let's keep it short, guys. This show's gone long.
They all go long.
I know, but
Yeah.
My sweat is for a game. I think it's pronounced Alakine's Gun.
Alakine's good.
It's coming via GameFly. I hear it's not very good. It's a Hitman clone. It's a game in the Death to Spy series. I don't know if this one's up to those quality standards, but those games were kind of janky as well. But I'm going to be playing it, I guess, at least for a little bit. My hype, believe it or not, is for Dark Souls 3. You know, I feel like I get a bad rap because I don't suck its dick like Jager does. I mean, every Dark Souls fan, every Dark Souls fan slobs that knob, and that's fine. But like, they're also, I've played them all and I love them all, so I'm actually super excited. That's soon, right? That's like a
Next
month
month.
from now.
Yeah, like
next
a
month.
My fuck you goes to Phil Spencer for keeping up our hope alive about Phantom Dust.
Yep.
You know, after this, like nearly the same day that this young Conker thing got announced, Phil Spencer tries to tell us that Phantom Dust is still alive. Fuck you. Just fuck off. And my thank you for the week goes to Hyde. Hyde for helping me propose to my lovely girlfriend, now fiance. He's a shitty dog, but I love him anyways. Thanks for helping him.
How terrified was he?
No, he was cool.
Okay.
He was terrified when we saw 3 fucking deer walk by our campsite. He'd never seen a deer in his life. He lost his shit. He's like, those are some big dogs.
You should, yeah, because never mind. Just keep going.
All
Nolan?
right. My hype is it's probably for this Uncharted multiplayer weekend. I had a lot of fun playing it. The last time when it was in the closed beta, so I'm excited to play some more. Hopefully they made a lot of improvements. While it was great, it definitely had some issues, so hopefully that goes well. My sweat is for my doctor's appointment tomorrow. Hopefully everything's cool.
Hopefully I can drink again, is what you're saying.
It's not so. I don't really care about drinking. Like, if I couldn't drink the rest of my life, I'd still be cool. It's more about I hope my results are good, so it's not something bad.
Do you have any? I mean, we'll talk about it later, but
What?
you don't have reason to believe that there is something wrong.
Well, no, we talked about it a little bit. Just like the liver function was elevated, and he's like, you should go a month without taking Tylenol or drinking liquor. And I was like, I rarely do those ever.
You're all right.
Jesus, Brent. My fuck you, beyond all fuck yous, goes to Waka from Kingdom Hearts. And that whole
Fuck
fucking...
Waka and Final Fantasy X too.
Just fuck... Yeah, right. Well, first of all, they had a horrible voice actor for him. He was like Jamaican in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, he was kind of Jamaican in Final Fantasy X too.
Not quite the same. Like
He's like halfway Jamaican.
Anyway, the fuck Destiny Island. Just fuck that whole
fuck that place.
thing. And then my thank you this week. Am I thankful for anything?
Nothing.
I mean, not. I'm not.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. No. Nothing. I'm not. I'm sure there's something I'm thankful for besides the community.
Yeah, thank the community.
I always thank the community because they're so cool.
Thank you. All right, my you know what? I'm going to start with my sweat this week. It's going to be The Witness because I haven't touched it in a few days, and I think I'm slipping.
I'm with you there.
I log in, I make a little bit of progress, and then I have to walk away. Like it is so slow going. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish that game.
Yeah.
My thank you for the week goes to PlayStation for finally. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but opening up pre-orders on No Man's Sky. I don't know, and I'm not happy about it, but I'm kind of thankful about it. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that later this week when those go live on Thursday. I don't have a fuck you for the week because nothing really happened that pissed me off. So
Konami.
well, I'm going to do two hypes. My first hype is for The Division, which comes out next week.
Oh my
excited.
god, really?
Yeah, it's the 8th.
Jesus
Really looking
Christ.
forward to that. Can't wait. And then my other hype is going to be for
Yeah,
No
just
Man's
fucking
Sky.
say it. We know you're gonna say it.
Thank you,
Gotta say,
Krispy,
it's a little
for
bit of a-
surprising us all.
Don't
little bit
ruin
of a
my
waste.
fun.
Gotta say, Crispy, it's a little bit of a waste. I
Two
kinda
hypes
would like
for
to
me,
know
too.
about other things you liked.
2 hypes for me as well.
What's up, Nick?
Far Cry Primal. I don't know. I'm really enjoying the game, and I'm really actually looking forward to going home, turning off the mini map, bumping up the difficulty, and just trying to have a more immersive experience. I've actually heard when you do these things, it actually forces you to approach combat differently, and it can make the game feel actually different than previous Far Cry games. So I'm actually really excited to go home and do that. My other hype being, of course, Jason Bourne. Still fucking excited for that movie. Holy shit. Now starring 2 Oscar winners. My fuck you of the week goes to Microsoft. Shut up!
That doesn't retroactively make it better.
I-
Okay, go
Wait,
ahead.
who's the new Oscar winner?
Alicia Vikander. I can't remember her.
Vikander.
Yeah, Vikander from the Danish Girl. She's starring in the movie as well.
I like
Anyways.
to think of her as Alicia from Ex Machina.
Yes, there we go. I forgot she was in that too, which she should have been nominated for too, potentially.
That was a really good movie.
That was a good movie. And my fuck you of the week goes to Microsoft / Remedy, whoever the fuck is responsible for making the Quantum Break decision. It seems kind of like a shitty decision, and it may actually cost them sales, which, who the fuck knows. We'll see how that goes. So I fuck you. And I guess my sweat is going to be finding the time to get back to any, because I do want to go back and keep playing Kingdom Hearts. I do want to go back and keep playing Dark Souls. It's just the fucking new releases won't fucking stop. So
Yeah.
like
My hype is the next Jim Pants announcement tomorrow.
The Bob's Company's games.
right. Okay. Thank you guys for listening / watching. 4playernetwork.com is the website. That's all we have for you this week. We'll be back next Tuesday. Of course, same time, same place. We'll be talking about more video games. So you can watch us every night at 4pp.tv. If you want to find out when we're broadcasting, I will go ahead and reiterate this again. Please check out the calendar. It's 4playernetwork.com/calendar. We update that shit on the regular. And we hope some of y'all will join us this week for Uncharted 4 beta, multiplayer beta with Nolan. And
one last thing.
One last thing from Brad.
If you didn't usually watch Braddy Petite because you didn't want to see me ramble on about the schedule for 5 minutes, I stopped doing that in the video. Now I just eat shit. And on this latest episode, I make silver turtles while I'm camping, and I eat that. So you should watch that video. And my top 5.
and both of his top 5s. If you're a patron, you can watch both of them. They're both quite good. So, yep, that's all we got for you this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.